You are now rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast, where they think they know everything, but honestly, they don't know shit.
These summer league games and they tell you about these new up-and-coming coaches.
I think we should get rid of every motherfucking owner in Chicago.
Enzo and Caruso, both when they are on the court, are like your defensive generals.
But they need to get that strong safety who's not scared to hit somebody.
They really don't know shit.
Yes! You know why I'm smiling? I know you know why. It's Victory Tuesday, baby. Victory Tuesday. Two ways. First, the Bears spanked that ass. And then the Bulls spanked that ass. Welcome to the podcast where we think we know everything. But we really don't know shit. But we do know we got that ass last night. That's what we do know. Might be a little bit of an overreaction. It was just New England, but New England played hard. It was foul mouth, a competitive game. It was a lot of fun to watch. The Bulls game was fun to watch too. Although I did not watch that much of the Bulls game, I was really into the football game. But man, what a great day to be a Bears fan, just a Chicago sports fan, period, man. Oh, it was great. But let me get my all-star team in here, man, and we'll talk about all of that. Also, we have a guest, and we will get to that a little bit later as he is having technical difficulties right now, as a lot of people do. So without any further ado, let's get to my guys. First up, my man who knows every single stat from every single team since the 80s and 90s, basketball and football, my man, JB.
Tell you what up.
What up with you, boy?
Shoot, man, just, hey, pleasantly surprised. And nothing really bad to say about last night. Nothing.
Not a thing. They played a complete football game. Every facet of the game, they played that.
Now, what I need to see is, are they going to over adjust or are they going to keep rolling? Because, you know, you got a juggernaut coming next week, boy. Number 11 scares me on that team.
Yeah. Shout out to Moore's Beer. Speaking of Moore's Beer, they were at the venue I was at last night. Well, one of the venues. I went to a place called Hue. Hue, H-U-E. It's 67 East Cermak.
Okay.
And that was a good time. And then I went around the corner to another place called Williams Inn. That's where Moore's was. Williams Inn is it's a beautiful venue. It's huge. And they have a lot of, they have two bars actually. And it's dope. Nice. Y'all have to come. We gonna have an event there. So let's get the rest of the All-Star team in here, man, because I know they got something to say. And I know I'm gonna bring in my man who probably has the foulest mouth in the city. and I'm pretty sure we're gonna hear some foul shit from him tonight. My man, Foul Mouth C.
Good evening, gentlemen.
He starts out like that.
Yes, good evening,
Good
gentlemen.
evening. Good evening, Foul Mouth. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's a nice night, Chicago, kind of rainy, but I am fine. How are you guys doing this good evening?
Hey, bear down, man. That's all I can say. Like,
Bear the
Me and T,
fuck
I
down.
know we gonna already go back and forth today about being
Oh,
competitive.
competitive.
Yes.
Yeah. If we have
And
time, what we
and
can talk about it.
and this is the thing. I'm not surprised that they won. Not at all. Like I said, they've been in every single game except for one. And that was up until the fourth quarter this year, every single game. So it's about executing, and they executed yesterday.
We're gonna take the North and never give it back.
That's right.
I would like to be
I mean,
with
that's
you.
a hell of a plan.
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds great. But yeah, I'm not sure.
My man, A. Stewart.
What's up,
Well
man?
done.
There go Jesse. There you go. What's up, Jesse?
Yes.
Just-
And let's bring in our last but not least All-Star. And also on the serious note, I need y'all to give him in the chat. I would like for you all to show him some love because he lost his pops
right.
Definitely.
yesterday, and that's got to be one of the hardest things in the world to lose your father. It's like losing a piece of your heart. So yeah, let's bring him in. My man, Big Frank the Tank.
Tank, what up?
What's up, Big Frank? How you doing, man? You all right?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I know you guys were all saying if I didn't want to come on today, I didn't have to, but talking to you guys makes me not think about it. So that's a key thing. But
Man,
hey,
however we can help.
All I think to myself, man, is he's not in pain anymore. He's not dealing with all that shit anymore. I know he's up there watching. So maybe spread some love, some subscribes up in heaven for us too, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this.
Chris,
Chris, myself, man, I hope all our pops are up in heaven cracking a beer together.
Yeah, that'd be nice, man. Start up their own podcast.
Still have mine. I'm lucky enough to still have mine. And his birthday actually is tomorrow.
Okay.
Whoa.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. So Pops, happy birthday. He's not
Happy
feeling
birthday,
that.
Mr.
Happy
Nichols.
birthday.
He's not
I'm
feeling
sorry,
that
Dr.
well
Nichols.
right
Apologies.
now. He's not feeling that well right now, but hopefully we'll get that taken care of before the weekend because we are going to Dallas. Well, we supposed to go to Dallas. Hopefully he feels better. If he don't feel better, we ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay because we'll just make the Atlanta trip if we can't go to Dallas. It's okay. It's okay. Juanita said condolences to you and your family, Frank.
Nah, thank you. Thank you very much.
What's up, Juanita? So, our guest tonight, oh my God, I'm super excited. You know, so the other day, someone said to me, so who you got coming on the podcast on Tuesday? And I said, Robert Scoop Jackson. And he said, oh, the sports writer. I paused because he's way more than a sports writer. But I just said, yeah, sports writer. He be on ESPN. He said, oh, okay. And when I walked away, I was just like, no. Now, when you know the saying that I might know or I might not know a little bit about everything. What? No, I fucked that all up. I might not know a lot about everything, but I know a little bit about everything.
Take your time.
Reverse that. Because tonight we are going to talk to somebody who don't know a little bit about nothing, but he knows a lot about everything, not just sports. We usually don't get political on here, but some issues, yeah, it's a fine line, but some issues you just can't help that, you know, like the whole shut up and dribble thing. Come on. So anyway, enough of me talking. Let's bring him in here. And I'm super excited. He's also a HBCU guy. That's important. He's an HBCU guy. Robert Scoop Jackson.
What up, fellas? What's going on? What's happening?
Scoop.
What up? What's going on?
Man, not much, brother. How you feeling?
I'm good. Frank, hey man, blessings to your pop, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it very much.
No doubt, man. I just anything you need, I'm pretty sure the fellas already got you, but even to your outside, your outside prayer groups, man, just holler at us. We got you.
I will let you know. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for that.
No problem. Anytime. And it's funny. I was listening to what you said about me being a sports writer. I never looked at myself as a sports writer. But people ask what I do. I'm like, I'm a writer. Like, to me, that encompasses everything, and we do a lot more than that. But it's like, I'm a writer. But it's funny, ESPN has the power. Like, I've been in the game for like 15 years before I even got to ESPN and never looked at it as a sports writer. But right. ESPN is so big that once you get there, automatically it eclipses almost everything you've done. It has the power to, oh, you're a sports writer. And I'm like, really? I've been doing a lot more longer than I've ever been here, but that's the power of those 4 letters, man.
That's what I said when he said, "Oh, the sports writer." I'm like, for the sake of not arguing, I just say, yeah.
No. It comes with the territory. I learned that a long time ago. David Aldridge explained to me one time, because he had been there long before I got there, and I had written something that kind of struck a nerve with somebody. And I had never gotten that before. I'm like, I've never had a problem with anybody really with anything I've ever written from a standpoint of the subject matter being or taking issue with something I wrote, for the most part. He said, bruh, it's those 4 letters. He said, you do the exact same thing for somebody else, but you put 4 letters by it, it changes everything. So I got an early introduction to that. And, that's the power of ESPN. It's just, that's it.
So before we like dig real deep, Scoop, I just want to shout out your book real quick. I've been reading it. It's a game changer.
Nice. Thank you. Oh, it is. Thank you.
Hey, I just finished the LeBron chapter, so I got questions.
Okay, all right. It's funny, man. I think about that because trying to figure out how his career is going to play itself out ahead of time, so that the column or the chapter, doesn't feel dated when you read it, was a tough thing to do. And I'm looking back and I'm like, all right, it's kind of like playing itself out the way, it was written 4 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
It was almost like a retrospective, but in real time.
Yeah, exactly. But it's hard when you're trying to write that and write ahead of time like that. And that's the one thing I tried to do with the book. I tried to think and write so that the chapters had longevity. That it was in the moment, it was topical, but 5-6 years from now, what was written would still be relevant and make sense.
Absolutely. So take us back, man, because for those that don't know, we can go all the way back to XXL. Like, let's get it. Let's dig in.
Whatever. Hey, start wherever you want to start, man.
What got you into the whole writing aspect?
Huh?
Was the final call first? Or the
Chicago you know what? What's funny is that the final call was not first. I had had stuff published in like the Christian Science Monitor before I even went over to the final call. We reckoned right. I was doing I was doing production work, assistant production work in my practicum. I was doing I was doing associate production work at BET for my practicum at Howard University. So in graduate school, right, practicum was basically you're doing an internship at the graduate school level. And my practicum happened to be at BET. And I went from doing the practicum to actually doing associate production work on Teen Summit, This Week in Black Entertainment, and Rap City. But at the same time, I had written some columns for the Hilltop, Howard University's student newspaper, and they were publishing them. And some of those columns got picked up in major news. The Washington Post picked up one, USA Today picked up one, Christian Science Monitor picked up one. There's one more I'm forgetting, but that was so many years ago. But yeah, so what wound up happening is that, I got started getting assignments and getting checks for those publications reprinting stuff I had written for the Hilltop. And that's kind of how it started out. And when I graduated from Howard and came back to Chicago, one of the places that gave me opportunity to write, one of the first places, was the Final Call. So it kind of started before there.
Okay.
I was doing a couple of small freelance stuff for the Chicago sometimes. I would do a couple of freelance stuff for the Final Call. Because at the time I turned my master's thesis, or my master's journal that I did at Howard University in order to graduate. I took the study out of that and actually turned it into a book. And it was the first academic study done on hip hop as a theoretical form of communication. So from that's why the Final Call reached out, because they were aware I had done academic study on the culture of hip hop. And Brother Muhammad was like, "Hey man, we love you to spread that knowledge on a more commercial basis for us, because we like the foundation that you're coming with, and we can use that voice, we can use that intellect, we can use that sense of academia, but with that kind of forward-thinking hip-hop journalism that we don't have." So they gave me space to do that. So I wound up doing, stories on, because hip hop was I won't want to say front page news, but it was, as Chuck said, it was our Black CNN at the time, because they were really vocally addressing issues that the news or no other form of media was putting, on the front page, at the top of the news. Rap happened to be doing it. So there was the Public Enemies. There was the BDPs. There were the, ICs. There were the NW. Everything that was happening in our community, they were the first reporting that news. And I was in a position from a journalistic standpoint to write about that, because I had done academic study on it, and I had actually had a book published on it. So I was kind of at the forefront of that. So that's how the Final Call came along. And it got me to write some stories from them. And as far as a large publication, they were probably the first one that, not that I was getting a check or anything, because we do that out of love. But they were the first ones where I could say on the national level that wasn't directly dealing with, the culture of hip hop. Okay. I had a byline in. So.
Okay.
So is that what translated into the XXL? Because obviously
XXL came about because the publisher Slam Magazine was aware of my writing, because as I said earlier, I was doing some freelance work, and Final Call was one of those publications where I was, if given opportunity, for freelancing for. But there was a Rap Sheet magazine in LA. I was freelancing. I was trying to get my name, and it had a couple of times up in the Source. There were magazines in London that I was getting on. There was Rap Pages I had some stuff in. I had written for YSB, BET's Young Teen magazine.
Yeah, I remember that.
Look, man, I call it journalistic prostitution, man. Ever was handing out checks, man, I was writing for because I was getting my hustle on. So over the course of probably a year, maybe, I really got tired of writing stuff for other publications and never seeing a check, or writing stuff for publications and seeing them like dismantle the work that I had to a degree that I didn't even recognize it anymore. Mm-hmm. And I said, why am I doing this? You know, and I smartly, I kept my day job. My day job at the time, I was teaching classes at city colleges. Mm-hmm. So I was doing, I was just teaching classes. I would teach everything from GED classes to, they had a middle college at Olive Harvey. So I had a steady check coming in, and while I was teaching during the day, I was doing all that freelance writing at night. So I decided, like I said, why am I writing for these people? And, you know, half the time I'm not getting paid, and the other half, I don't even want my name associated to it. Why don't I just do my own thing? You know, why not, you know, because I had a policy I live by, you know, do for self or die a slave. Mm. So, you know, it was time for me to live up to my own rhetoric. So I started my own magazine. I started it as a one-page newsletter, got it into like 7 to 8 Black-owned bookstores in Chicago and Black business in Chicago, and did that for about a year. And then the people that I was putting it in, they were like, hey, man, you know what? This people really digging what you're doing, man. If you want to expand this, you know, we'll advertise. So that's how I became a one-page newsletter to like a 24-page magazine. Mm-hmm. And then I started distributing it in other places outside of Chicago. So I was in Spike Lee's bookstores in Brooklyn and LA. I was in Black-owned bookstores in DC and in Denver, Colorado, you know. So I was, you know, it was small, but I was expanding. And what wound up happening is that the publisher Slam Magazine became aware over that time period of my writing, not just through my own magazine, which he was picking up in Spike's bookstore in Brooklyn because he was based in New York and Jersey, but he was familiar with seeing my name all over the place. And that's where the journalistic prostitution worked to my advantage, because he was like, I keep seeing this brother's name. I just keep seeing this dude's name, and I'm liking everything that he's writing. So when he started Slam Magazine, he tracked my name and number down in Chicago. You know, called some of his people and wound up tracking me down. And he got my phone number, called me and said, hey, man, I'm starting a basketball magazine. I said, I'm very aware of it. I sent you a stack of stuff to put me on. He said, look, I don't have that, but all I want to know is I love your stuff. I love what you're doing. Do you know anything about basketball? And my answer is like, bro, from Chicago, man, basketball is what you do.
That's a dumb question.
That's what we do.
What we do? Sit in the woods and wipe his ass with a fluffy white rabbit.
Right, and people like, you from New York, so New York think they got a lock on that. I was like, no, y'all ain't got it like we do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can claim the Mecca, but Chicago, the heartbeat of the whole game starts here. So, and that's what I told him. But you got to keep in mind, I had never, ever, ever in this whole period of time before this written anything about sports. Nothing. So that's what goes back to I'm a sports writer now. You know what I'm saying? I had never done anything, but I got tapped because the publisher Slam was trying to do a magazine about the culture of the game, not just the sport. Mm. And he had become familiar over a couple of years of my writing and said, hey, man, I just hired a new editor-in-chief. I'd love to get you on, man. I'll put you all on the phone. And that's when he put me on the phone with Tony Gervino. And it was issue number, we came out with issue number 3 of Slam. They had already done 2 issues, and Tony and I and Russ and the whole crew, but we kind of took it from there. And we just built Slam Magazine. That was I meant to build Slam Magazine. And I'm telling you all this because we had an idea to do another magazine because the art director Slam was not a sports guy. And he was like, if we don't do something else besides this basketball shit, I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay. So we were in Orlando, man. We were in Orlando doing that 1996 cover with Allen Iverson, Stephon Marbury, Antoine Walker, that whole spread that became kind of famous. We were in Orlando doing that cover, and Tony, Don, and I came up with the concept for a magazine. And that's where we sat. We sat at the bar and came up with the concept for Double XL right there. Because I don't do something, I'm gonna leave. And we were looking at the game and what was missing. And we were like, they don't have an urban male magazine that's smart, that's rooted in hip hop. And Don was like, it has to be rooted in hip hop. I'm like, I'm all good with that. You know, keep in mind, once again, I had written about hip hop on another level. I had come from an academic standpoint because I knew there was an intellectual side of writing about the culture of hip hop without intellectualizing it. If you know what I mean.
Right.
So that's kind of what we were coming with. So we came up with the concept for Double XL right there. And I told the publisher, I said, hey man, if you do this magazine, and at the time I was helping the Source magazine start their sports magazines. I was writing for Dave Cummins at the Source Sports at the time.
Yeah, I remember Source Sports. It was short-lived.
Right, it was short-lived. But you know, it was an idea because they were trying to come after us. They were trying to look at. I don't want to say that, but they looked at what Slam Magazine was doing and the popularity that Slam had, and they figured with their brand, the Source, they could attach themselves to sports and maybe do what we were doing in a different way. Because as much as Slam was looked at as a hip hop based magazine, it still was not a hip hop magazine. It was just a magazine about basketball culture. But the Source looked at the connection between the game of basketball and hip hop culture and said, hey, there's a space here that maybe we could fill. So that's basically what they were doing. And I was helping Dave Cummings, you know, make that happen. But I told Dennis, the publisher Slam, look, if we do this magazine, if we do this other magazine, I'm no longer writing for Vibe magazine. I will no longer write for the Source magazine. I will shut down my own magazine. If you
wow, that's dedication on that one. Damn.
Wow. You bridged the gap in a sense.
Yeah. So once he started it, that's how Double XL got started. Really from Slam, and it wasn't really from my magazine. My magazine led me to Slam. Slam led us to start Double XL. So that's how the story goes and how it's all connected. So
okay.
I always wondered that because it just appeared one day and it was just like wonderful. It was different.
Yeah.
You know, even the size of the magazine was like everything was just like new.
Yeah.
We love Slam. Like Slam, like I ain't gonna lie. I had Sports Illustrated in the house, but I gravitated to Slam a little bit more because I understood it more.
Yeah, that was the thing. We were telling the story from a different angle, from a different perspective, and that was our thing. We didn't want to be Sports Illustrated. We didn't want to be Sport News. You know, we didn't want to be Sport. We didn't want to be, you know, the National. We didn't want to be USA Today. You know, we didn't want to be any of that. If it was left up to Dennis Page, the publisher, we would have never had NBA stories in that magazine. He really, really, really wanted to tell the overlooked story of the culture of basketball, and like starting with the playground legends, like, and how important they have been to the history of basketball, but none of their stories were being told. You know, Rick Tellender did Playground, you know, Heaven is a Playground, which is like an iconic basketball book. But after that, nobody really paid attention to what was going on the blocks, you know, across the city and all the games that were being played, you know, all the stuff that lends itself to, you know, people playing the game out of love and not really getting checks, you know, making a living, you know, playing overseas, you know, cats in the hood that are more famous, you know, and probably sometimes better than some of the cats in the league, you know. All those stories are being untold, and that's what Dennis wanted to do with Slam. So, you know, it wasn't like we were trying to be better than Sports Illustrated or all the other magazines that were covering sports at the time. We wanted to come at the game with a total different angle. And because you're coming at the angle, because you're not dealing with suits and lawyers and commissioners and, you know, board of directors and, everything that comes along with that. You know, you're not dealing with season ticket holders. You're not dealing with concession stand sales. You're not dealing with any. You're just dealing with basketball in purest form. Telling that story is going to lend itself to what you're reading being different than what everybody else is covering.
Man, spot on. Because
real shit for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Cut out
everything.
all that other bullshit. Cut out all that corporate shit and just get straight to it.
Yeah, get straight to the game.
But it felt home though. It felt homegrown. Like everything from YVI to
yes.
I-2 to 63rd Street, Hayes, right off the lakeshore. You know, like
let's go before that. Let's really go before that. Let's go with the balled up sock and the hanger over the closet door.
Right at the crib when the Nerf hoop.
Right at the crib. Right. Exactly.
Or going to hoop in the alley, putting the crate up.
That's what I'm talking about. Right.
I used to do it with a hamper.
Nailing the crate up to the light post. Right. Exactly. Let's go to, and that's what we're talking about. Those are those stories, you know. And now the beauty of it is we had the ability to Slam Magazine because, you know, the publisher realized that I can't make money off a magazine by telling street stories. You know, I can't tell, you know, the origin of basketball as it exists in this time and really make money. That's not sustainable. But every player playing in the NBA has those stories as a part of their lives. So while we tell their NBA stories, the one thing that none of these other publications is going to do is tap into that. So let's make sure we tap into that. So when we talk to Michael Jordan, when we talk to Scottie Pippen, when we talk to Shaquille O'Neal, when we talk to John Starks and Patrick Ewing, when we talk to Lonzo Mourning, when we talk to Baron Davis, when we talk to Allen Iverson, when we talk to Steph Marbury, when we talk to Chris Webber and Jason Williams, you know what I'm saying? When we talk to all of these cats, let's take them back and start our stories there. Whether we mention it or not, let's get to the heart of where this game started from them, because that's going to tell us what we need to know about how much the game means to them. And that's the part of the culture we want to discuss. And we're starting out. That's always going to be our angle. So that's kind of where that came from. So it goes way before the YBI days, way before you even had a uniform. You know, when you were sitting up in your bedroom with the t-shirt that used to be white, and now it's like yellow as fuck. And you taking that marker, that non-permanent marker, and writing a number on the back of who.
Yes.
You know, that those type of stories, right?
I rocked out the duct tape.
Yeah. I remember when in 1980, what was it, 1982, 83? No, it was 82. When the Bulls went to the playoffs and they played the Celtics, and Michael Jordan put Larry Bird in a blender. Y'all remember?
That was 82,
no,
man.
That was 82. That was 85.
That was when he came back from the broke foot.
85. And he put him in the blender. I swear to God, from that day on, every time I played on the Nerf hoop, remember this, Jordan. Remember that? Every time I played on Nerf hoop, I would call out Jordan every time I shot.
After that game, okay, look, I'm gonna tell you what you do. I'm gonna see if you can do this for real. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the part of history that people kind of like sleep on. If you get it, because that was game 2 of that series.
Yeah. Okay.
Go back and watch game 1. Michael dropped 49 in game 1. If you can find that full game, watch that game, hit me back and tell me if that performance was not better than the 63-point performance.
It was more efficient because he hit more shots on less attempts.
But it was more spectacular, man.
It was more dynamic.
It was way more dynamic. That, to me, if you like, that's the game that should have grabbed you.
That's the game where Larry was literally like,
right, this is good, right.
What? It wasn't the 63 points?
Nah, man. The way he played that game, man, it was the fact that he followed it up with 63, because, you know, I'm a big believer in the follow-up. It's never about what you do, it's what you follow it up with. So the 63 became more important. But as a game itself, to like recognize who this dude was, to like, even though we were fans in Chicago, but this is when we knew that we were among a basketball god. To me, it's that 49-point game. That was the warning shot.
But a lot of people do that, Scoop, because like we focus so much on the 63-point game, overtime, the free throws, all that, as iconic as it is. But then I tell people, you know, some people think that's his high point game. I said, what about the game in Cleveland when he scored 69 with the 14 rebounds? Yeah. Something like he's got other iconic games that we just don't focus on because of the magnitude. It's the playoffs. It's the Celtics. It's Larry Bird. It's Bill Walton. It's Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, who gives a shit about Cleveland? So I mean, it's
well, apparently back then Mike did. That's why he killed him the way he did.
yeah, that's true.
No, wait. In fairness, now that Cleveland was pretty good.
Oh, Cleveland was very good.
I'm not dissing Cleveland in basketball. I'm just saying.
Man, Mike was killing Cleveland. He was
Mike
killing,
killed a lot of teams.
He was killing Craig Elo, and man.
Well, you know what's so funny? People got to remember he did all this shit without shooting the three.
In that Cleveland game, no threes and only 2 dunks.
Yeah,
2 dunks.
He doing this without shooting the three. You know,
that was a jump shot game. That's when you realized, damn, this dude can shoot too. It wasn't just about scoring. Mike was
different.
Right. When I be sitting up there saying, "Oh yeah, such and such, yeah, he had 54, whatever." Yeah, how many threes did he hit?
Right.
Michael didn't shoot threes because he didn't have to shoot threes.
Well, it wasn't a part of the game as far as him being a specialist at that time.
Why go and take a chance and shooting a three if you can't stop me in the mid range? It just made no sense.
But let's go back to it. Let's not forget what he did against Portland in that playoff series when he decided to shoot threes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
This is what I'm saying. Like everyone always said he couldn't shoot threes. He couldn't shoot. He didn't shoot threes. That was the thing. If he had to, he did. He had a bad 3-point percentage. I think it was like the first 5-6 years of his career. But once his mid-range developed, he developed a three too. If he had to shoot the three, he made the three.
That's what made it so beautiful.
But that's not fair in context rather. We all watched the North Carolina game, right? Hell, there was no 3-point line to shoot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was something that was, forget overly used. It wasn't even practiced because it didn't exist. So it's like by the time it did come in, notice a lot of good 3-point shooters, if you look at their historical stats, they weren't shooting. It was like 12%, 22%. Like nobody had great 3-point shooting stats when the line first was invented. Like it just didn't happen. It took time.
Well, when it came into the NBA, I think if you look at the ABA stats,
well, ABA was a little different because they pushed, like somebody like Pete Maravich. Could you imagine what his point total would have been if they had a 3-point line at LSU?
Yeah, he was a shooter.
Yeah,
he already averaged 44 with no 3-point line. It's like, dang.
Well, I'm gonna give y'all this. Y'all see if y'all remember that. Do you remember that scoring title race that David Thompson and George Gervin went through, where David Thompson scored 73 points early in the day? It was the closest race in NBA history, leading up to the last game of the season. And David Thompson scored 73 points in an earlier game to take the lead on George Gervin. And Gervin had to score 59 to get the scoring title back. And he wound up scoring 63. 30, he had 53 at halftime.
Dang.
Right, he scored 30. He had 20 in the first quarter, 33 in the second quarter.
You know what? Now that I think about it, Shaq and David Robinson did that too.
Huh?
Shaq and David Robinson did that too.
But what you call is George's and them was much tighter as far as like where they came in like that. They want to be at 2 percentage points behind one another for the scoring title. But I say that all to say these are guards. And they didn't take threes. You scoring 73 and 63 without threes.
That's
a lot harder.
That's some bruising basketball down there.
That's
right. And both of them came from the ABA, so they were able to shoot threes in the ABA. But it was only the second year of the ABA merging with the ABA. I mean, the ABA merging into the NBA. Right. They had not indoctrinated the 3-point yet.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you like flip to the league now, like how JB, when you brought up the 3-point line, what's your guys' take? Or you think within the next few years there's going to be a 4-point line?
I don't think that's going to happen.
You don't think it's going to happen?
I hope not.
3-pointers to a lot of these players are too easy now.
What's that stuff we used to watch? NBA Rock and Jock. That's too like comical.
It gets too gimmicky.
Gimmicky, that's the word. Yeah.
Tell the truth, the game right now to me is sort of losing its luster because I'm tired of seeing a damn 3-point contest every damn game. You know,
that's exactly what
I watched the Bulls the other day. They had a 3-on-1. 2 of the guys went back there by the 3-point line instead of filling the damn lanes. I said, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. If teams,
the Bulls don't have 3-pointers.
Well, neither do the Lakers, and that's their problem. But that's a whole nother story.
We want to bring up that
but they're doing the same thing. You know, you have LeBron rightfully saying that, you know, hey, we don't have these snipers, we don't have this and the other, and that's fine. That's understandable. Every team doesn't have, like, you know, long range assassins like that. You know, but if you don't have them, why the hell are you taking 45 threes?
I'm shooting them, exactly.
Exactly.
I'm lost. So help me out, because I'm like, I'm watching that like, wait a minute. And then let me backtrack. I think that interview, I think he thought he was being set up, and I don't think he was. But when he answered that question, his own stat line, he was 2 for 9. So it's like, you're part of the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't he shoot like a 50-foot air ball too that game?
Yeah, no, it was like a 22-foot air ball.
I was just being sarcastic with a 50-footer. I'm just saying it was a deep three-pointer that he airballed.
Yeah, it's the mentality of everybody. But see, this is where we're going to get a whole nother conversation, because this is the power the media has to shape the way conversations go.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you spoke on that in the book. You spoke on that.
Right. Look at LeBron and what he said. LeBron didn't say anything wrong. He just kind of just pulled out a fact and verbally put it right here. And that was it. Now, do me a favor. Go back and listen to Giannis's interview, I think a day before that, where he basically talked about all the problems with the Milwaukee Bucks. Basically said where they are right now, he said, we ain't hungry. Nobody said anything about that. Like, Giannis is no disrespect to LeBron, but Giannis is the best player in the league right now.
Agreed.
Hands down.
And he basically said to his team, called his team out, said, we ain't hungry.
But I mean, when you do stuff like that, it depends on how your team takes it. Because I bet you the Bucks are going to come out firing now.
But my thing is, regardless how the team comes out, it's the media that makes a story of this. Nobody in the media decided to take. Now, Brian talks. All LeBron said is, if we don't have any snipers, could you? And the media jumped on that and made an entire storyline to start off damn near every show on Fox and ESPN with that.
The media is the devils of sports. Exactly. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. They are the devils of sports.
Wow.
No offense to any media people who come on here.
Could you look, if LeBron said what Giannis has said, could you imagine what that had been? What type of firestorm that would have been?
Well, we saw it right here in Chicago.
And it's a storyline. So my point is that, is it really a storyline, or are they telling us it's a storyline? And my 9 times out of 10, my default is that we're the ones that are victims to what the media tells us to think about and discuss. Yeah. What LeBron said is not a talking point. It's just a fact. The problem is, why are you all knowing that LeBron spit the truth, going into games with a mentality that's different than what you know that you are? Nobody on that team is a three-point shooter, but you all in game situations are taking step back threes. You're not just running in a 3-on-1 fast break and going to the three-point line. You all are running plays inside and then stepping back purposely to take threes.
Or, I mean, you could even say James Harden taking step back.
Hey, Scoop, that's why I said up there said the game is gone and lost its luster, man. It's 2 3-point relying, like you said up there said. Everybody's not built. You can't tell me majority of the league can shoot threes, because they can't. You got a few elite guys, you got some good guys, and then you got some average, and then you got some way below average. Everybody think that this is a 3-point shot. They don't work the big man. People talking about, basketball's positionless. You want to know why? Because y'all sit up there, you've gone and made the game try to tailor to the European game.
Yeah.
It used to be down there like you used to sit up there, had the centers, they had to have footwork. They used to bang down low. Now everything, they sit up there and got a taste of that European life. Now everybody want to shoot threes out there. You got 7-footers out there shooting threes. And I mean, like I said, they taking about, 7 to 8 threes a game?
Vucevic.
More than that, yeah. I mean, and it's pretty much like how Scoops was saying earlier, like with the media type thing. I mean, that's the media who's doing this too, because look at what they're still doing to DeMar DeRozan. The art of the mid-range shooter, DeMar DeRozan, last year was the worst free agent signing, and this year he was the most overrated star in the NBA. Yeah. And he is still fucking killing people.
Yes.
Still. But they still doing it because he does not shoot threes. He's not adapting to what the game is now.
But here's the thing. In my opinion, Scoop, tell me how you feel about this. Mm-hmm. With the exception of like literally like a Steph Curry type, and that goes back to whether you want to say Mahmoud, whether you want to say Mark Price, Dana Barros, whoever from back in the day. With the exception of those type of players, basketball was never invented to shoot the ball 23, 24, 25 feet out at a high clip.
Right.
That's not what the game was meant to be. Right. The elegance of the game now. I don't have to dribble as long as I can shoot 35% from the three. I don't have to prove that I have a left hand. Hell, I don't even have to prove that I can run up and down the court in the transition game because I'm not going to the hole. I'm going to the three-point line. To me, that makes basketball right now more of a spectacle than a sport.
And that's why these players last a lot longer in the NBA than they did back then, too.
Yeah, I can see the wear and tear factor, but they're also getting injured at a higher rate than they were before, too.
Yeah, so that is true, too, which is kind of weird.
Right. They're lasting longer, but they're playing the same amount of games because they're missing so many games over the course of their careers.
Yeah, but they're also taking, like breaks.
Yeah,
not
but that's
practicing, taking breaks.
Their bodies aren't conditioned to take this type of long haul where the bodies before work. You know, and there's different theories of why this happens, but we can expound on that. That's a whole other conversations. But
part of it is in my opinion is just when people compare eras, but just because you compare eras doesn't mean the game necessarily can't be played one way or the other depending on eras. Because now you look at somebody like a Michael Jordan who played 82 games like 10 times in his career, but then you look at somebody like LeBron who's only done it once. But people would like to say LeBron's the superior athlete. Look at the shape he's in. He spends $1 million on his body. But yet at times, he looks a lot more fragile than a Michael Jordan type. But how do you explain that now? Because you can't say that's analytics, of which I'm not a fan of analytics. I hate that fucking word. I'm not.
But let the nerds in the game, man.
Yeah. But it's just telling to me because now it's like we're in Cleveland. We playing. Could you imagine how Cleveland fans would feel if Michael Jordan didn't play that game?
Yeah.
And he was completely healthy, talking about I need a break. Like he'd probably be like the most scrutinized person ever, not just in the media, in public opinion, right?
Okay, here's the thing. I give you that, and I agree. But let me also say there's another component here that I don't think anybody discusses that also plays a role in players taking the time off or being given the time off that they seem to be given in this era of basketball. Mm-hmm. And it has to do with access via television and technology. Now,
wait, I don't know. You said television versus or television?
No, television and technology.
Oh, okay.
Because right now we're in a space where we can see every game that LeBron James plays. We can see every game that Steph Curry plays, Dame Lillard. Go down the line. Everybody has access to every game being played. They know that, right?
Right.
Now, back in the day, we didn't have it. Everybody didn't see Michael Jordan. Everybody didn't see Magic Johnson. If you were in LA, you probably saw all the Laker games. If you're in Chicago, you probably saw the Bull game. But people had to wait a week, Sunday, and it wasn't every Sunday that the Bulls happened to be on NBC and you catch one of those games.
Right, yeah. True. Or TNT Thursday night, Friday night, yeah.
So I'm saying that to say, if that same, access existed today, players wouldn't miss as many games because they know that their value is predicated on them showing up more because everybody doesn't have access to see them. But when not everybody has access to see them, it's no big deal. They may come to the stadium and pay for a ticket to see me, but guess what? They can see me tomorrow.
Yeah, you catch me next week.
They can stream. They can watch TNT, ESPN. You know, everybody got a cable service and a package. And the NBA has a television package with 4 different networks. You know what I'm saying? So they have access that they didn't have before.
Right.
Now you take those old access back. Well, hey man, everybody in the country is only gonna see me, 6 times a year. Nah, they ain't missing them games like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Their access and availability via technology and television changes the way they approach the game and when they show up to play.
I never thought about that because it looked
that's interesting for sure.
It definitely looked like, well, no, let me not say plan because load management is supposedly, worked into some people's Kawhi Leonard, I want to say, is like very high on load management, but he's also suffered some, pretty catastrophic injuries. But somebody like a James Harden who will sit up there and say, as long as I'm healthy, I'm going to play. So that's why I say I get to compare and contrast, but then I'm like, it's
just
still
not in the postseason.
If I'm not 100% and I'm feeling like 85-ish and I still want to play, I'm going to play.
Yeah.
That's what I think, like, in my mind, like we're losing that dynamic of.
Yeah, I think we are, but let's add the human quality to that. And this is no shot at, shade, or disrespect to anybody playing the game right now, but these cats come up different than they did back in the day. So and I'm not saying anybody's like pampered.
You can't have those Bobby Knight coaches anymore.
Man, damn that.
Yeah, that's true too. But but the fact
fuck that, Scoop. They pampered, man.
No, I mean, I don't want to say pampered in the wrong way because I don't want it to be misunderstood. What I'm saying is that when very rarely do you see players come through and make it to the league and get to that all-star, box office place where they are unknown coming into this space. They become
right because they're ranked at 6th grade, 7th grade. They're on the radar now. Right.
And not only are they ranked, but they're known because they're playing on AAU teams that are sponsored by whoever, and they travel across the country. You got kids now in 6th grade that have already been to like 4 or 5 tournaments in Vegas, where they have scouts all over looking. You didn't have that back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Some cats can sneak up on you. Like, man, I ain't know where that cat went to college at.
Right.
I don't know where that cat came from. Now you may get a few of them, so you may get like a Dame Lillard who kind of came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You may get a CJ McCollum. You may get a John Morant who went to a tiny school.
Mm-hmm.
You knew about Steph only because he was tearing up the NCAA tournament before he came in. But he went to a small school. But those players, and Kawhi's kind of the same way. Kawhi was kind of low key. Nobody really knew about Kawhi too much. But those players are exceptions to the rule.
Right.
Nowadays, most players have been stars. I don't want to say pampered. They've been stars outside of their own neighborhoods by the time they get to high school. You get what I'm saying? So I don't want to.
Derrick Rose comes to mind.
But the life challenges of what they have to go through to get to a certain level isn't there once they get to the NBA. Whereas back in the day, you had to work your way up to that even to get into the NBA. And once you take away that hunger and that struggle, a lot goes with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we can't ask players, and I'll use LeBron as a classic example. We started televising this cat's game in high school.
Yeah.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These guys are, like I said, making the cover of Sports Illustrated. They are, LeBron's mom walked into an auto dealership when he was in high school and bought a Hummer based on his potential. Okay, so
thank God that panned out for her, huh?
What I'm saying is that when that player makes it to the league, that's what I'm saying. He's not pampered, but you can't expect that player, and LeBron is different, but he's a great example of having the type of hunger, the type of drive to be like, no, I'm playing all 82 games. when you don't have to. You know what I'm saying?
He don't have to go through the grind.
I don't have to go through that grind anymore. And I never had to go through that grind because once I was in 8th grade and they put me on the map and I lived up to it, and my small team from St. Vincent St. Mary all of a sudden got a national schedule.
Mm-hmm.
We started playing prep schools like Oak Hill and Mount Verdi, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm good. That pampered is gone. It's different as opposed to like, you know, I use him as another example, but even he got the pamper treatment. It wasn't like you Anthony Davis coming out of nowhere and going to a school that had like 3 students at Perspective. And you going there, you trying to find your way into the public league and you getting beat by the Carvers and the Marshalls and the, you know what I'm saying? Well, you're like, damn, I'm never going to get noticed. But then you get lucky, you go from 6'3" to 6'11", and all of a sudden Kentucky gives you a scholarship offer, so that changes everything. Right, you know what I'm saying? So he fits into that same narrative of what we're talking about players not having to struggle and go through a challenge for so long anymore, because by the time the world knows about them, the challenge disappears. So that shapes who they are as people. We can't sit up here and act as athletes thinking that their road and their path doesn't shape who they are as an individual. You know what I'm saying? And that affects the way they approach and play the game once they get to that level.
Right, because their thought process is already kind of like
mentality's different. Mentality's different.
Yeah.
Mentality, man, look, let any one of us get, and this is once again no shade or disrespect, but let us get the affordability of going to some of these Ivy League schools on full scholarship straight out of high school. Having job offers from 400 of the Fortune 500 companies before we come out of school. Have Google and IBM and all these other like companies like vying for our services.
Yeah, we just had dial-up internet
before we even get a degree. You're coming from the Harvards and the Notre Dames and the Princetons and the Stanfords. We're getting the same type of treatment that the Zuckerbergs are getting. Mm-hmm. Coming from these schools and these places where they're giving us I'm not saying we didn't earn it, but they are giving us access to things that we'll never. Do you know how different people we would all be if that was our lives?
I can
imagine.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that when that happens to you, and that happens to athletes, especially when you get to that elite NBA level, we can't expect them to have the same hunger that our 5 asses have sitting here talking on the podcast. It doesn't work that way.
You right. You spitting the truth. You spitting the truth.
It doesn't work that way.
And I never thought of it from that perspective because being a former athlete, it's always been about the grind, being the no name, being the try hard, what they used to call us the little engine that could type mentality. Like you're gonna prove and prove and prove. But when it's handed out to you, you have to prove a lot less.
And you earn it. Don't get it twisted. You
still
earn
it.
You get that right, because the market.
But you don't have to prove as much.
Right, it's handed to you because you earned it. But the fact that it's still handed to you, that something is handed to you, when before this shift that has come into professional sports, it wasn't handed to you that early.
Right, you had to get it. You had to get it once you got there. If you got there.
Right. Even when you got there, you had to grind to get it. They weren't turning the keys over to franchise rookies like that.
Oh, no.
I hate to say it.
Magic and Larry was the only ones to come to date.
Well, Magic was not handed the franchise because Kareem was there, remember?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, they showed us that.
Magic came in and won them a chip, and that's how he got his. Right. But he still had to earn it. But you know as well as I do. Let somebody else be number 1 pick.
Number 1 overall.
Going to the Lakers. I don't care if he went to Sacramento, he's getting handed those keys. The minute he had to win a game.
Yeah.
Even if he won the national championship the year before.
Yeah, very true.
And we were a coin flip away from getting Magic too. Dang.
Right, exactly.
It's like football related. We were a coin flip away from getting Terry Bradshaw too, weren't we?
Yeah. So
don't even start that.
We doing a lot of. We doing.
Think about it. If we had got Terry Bradshaw, we never would have been in a position to even get Walter Payton out of Jackson State.
Very true.
Right.
We would have had a winning record over the years, and we wouldn't have fallen into that place. So don't mess.
I like how that panned out.
Right. Don't mess with sweetness, dude.
Yeah.
Don't mess with sweetness.
So we were doing a lot of talking about Michael Jordan. And everybody in Chicago loves almost everybody in Chicago loves
Should
Michael
be. If
Jordan.
you don't, you're an idiot.
It says he is the top of the food chain. So I was doing a little bit of research. And that's not what Scoop Jackson said. Scoop Jackson said Julius Erving is at the top of the food chain. I can't really disagree with that.
Right.
Because I remember from what I saw, and then from what I see on like these shows like 30 for 30, he was cold.
Oh, he's beyond.
Doc was a problem.
Yeah, Doc was a problem.
Killed
Yeah, he was
face
cold.
of two different leagues. Like Doc was a problem.
And
he's not even listed in the top 10 for most people.
Yeah, but that's that. I mean, that's the evolution of things, and that's not taking all things in consideration. Usually, when I make comments like that, it's taking into consideration the totality of not just what the player did on the court. And I'm not talking about it, his civil or social responsibility. I'm talking about the impact that they had,
right,
on the game. So I'm still keeping the game related, but not just what they did on the court. And, Michael Jordan never had the responsibility. He didn't have the responsibility. Understand what I'm saying? He never had the responsibility of carrying or saving a league.
True.
Julius Erving, and this is no disrespect to like Moses Malone or George Gervin, or Artis Gilmore, a lot of the cast that came over from Julius Erving from the ABA.
A-Train.
But Julius Erving carried an entire basketball league for at least the last 3 years. Julius Erving, because he was the only box office. The only one man carrying a 8 to 10 team league for 3 years, where teams are folding to the point that the NBA was like, all right, we're going to buy out this entire league because of one player, and we're taking 4 teams. This is one man that did that, but the NBA knew it needed help. And the one thing the NBA did not have at the time was Julius Erving. So basically, you said you did your research. Go back and research how the NBA bought an entire league to get one man to come over to their league, and now he saved the NBA for 2 years until Magic and Bird got there. Look at how bad the NBA was doing.
Oh yeah, they were. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was very close to being the other way around. If it wasn't for Denver, Indiana, and San Antonio, right?
Yes, and Denver, San Antonio, Indiana, and the Nets. The Nets came over.
The New Jersey Nets, right?
Right, New Jersey Nets. So those 4 teams came over, but it was still all about Doc. It was still all about Doc. And that's what I'm saying about Michael never had that responsibility to carry a league, because Julius was responsible for carrying the ABA by himself.
But Michael still did carry the league.
No,
he just
but
didn't
what I'm
have
saying
the
is
responsibility.
you know what? That's different when you do something as opposed to being responsible for it.
Agreed.
You know that. Let's go to our real life situation.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So what I'm saying, and that's what I'm taking into consideration with Julius Erving. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's almost like I feel the same way. I use this as an analogy, but not to throw it off. The Jackie Robinson thing with the Muhammad Ali thing. I think Jackie Robinson is important to everything that has happened to us, but I always feel that Muhammad Ali was a much more important to Black people, because I have this belief that eventually, the way society goes, somebody was going to break that color line.
Yeah,
Jackie just happened to be first.
Yeah, because literally right after that was like Larry Doby or somebody like that.
Larry Doby came 11 weeks later.
Yeah, like it was.
Yeah. No, was it Larry Doby or Don Newsom? I forgot which one it was. But yeah,
I thought it was Larry Doby because
it was Larry Doby. Yeah, I think it was Larry. It was Larry Doby. It was Larry. Don Newsom came after that. But
Right.
It literally, like I said, it just happened to be Jackie just happened to be first. But that's something that I felt was going to happen. Now, could that person? I don't know. Larry Doby kind of did the same thing. He did it in Los Angeles, so it was a little bit different than doing it in Brooklyn. But the intersection of us coming into professional sports at a team level was going to eventually happen. So I don't take anything away from what Jackie did and what he stands for. But to me, that was inevitable.
Right.
Yeah, it was inevitable, but I don't know. Like they said, sometimes you only got that one time to make a first impression. So he had a lot of weight on his damn shoulders because he would have acted fool, did something.
Ain't no doubt about that. But here's what I'm saying. That's true. But Jackie made white people in white America accept us in a way that they hadn't accepted us because he was able to break that color line.
Mm-hmm.
What Muhammad Ali did was make a nation of black people feel a level of self-esteem we had never had about ourselves. That to me is a responsibility that is different.
Absolutely, it's responsibility to our people
breaking that color line. Because guess what? He didn't have to do that. That's not something that fell into his lap. He chose to make us feel different about.
And I think he also had that ability and that power to as well.
Right. So while
that Jackie didn't, Jackie was.
But in fairness, Muhammad Ali had two strikes against him, being a man of color. One, and then when he switched his religious belief, that was like the ultimate, like, oh hell no.
Right.
So he had two like very heavy lifts.
And that's what I'm talking about, responsibility. You're carrying a different weight with you.
Yeah.
And I kind of look at that going to the power that responsibility has when you do have it as to when you don't have it. And I'm not saying you don't get things done, but that responsibility, there's an extra weight on you when you do that. And that's why I look at what Julius Erving did and give him a certain level of importance and a certain level of greatness over Michael, because I take that in consideration. Now, who's the greatest ever? Who's the greatest ever do it? Greatest ever touch it? Ain't no question is Mike. Ain't no question. And I'm probably going to say, as time has gone on, and me looking at Michael and what he's been able to do in a different light, and the impact he's had for us in what he symbolizes to a certain degree, that Julius was not able to do. But what Michael's done is off the basketball court, but it's still related to sports. And the impact he's had, not just from being the face of and being a part of Jordan brand and how culturally that plays a role in our lives and in Black society, especially with Black, or semi-Black ownership as far as business is concerned. But if you look at Michael as being one of three, I think, Black billionaires we have in this country.
Yes.
And if we sit up here as Black folks and think that money's not important to how we are valued in this country, then we're stupid. So understanding that value and the impact that has, and being one of the only primary Black folks we have in professional sports, and having the most diverse staff dealing with race and gender in all of professional sports, and looking at the staff and the race and the gender equity that he's brought to Jordan over the years, where he's had Black presidents of the company, female presidents of the company, and nobody else is doing that. Take that in consideration, and then now he's above Julius. But it took time for him to get there. You know what I'm saying?
True.
But to me, when we're judging and talking about people's greatness, to me, I always take all of that in consideration when I make an evaluation or make an assessment of the impact or the greatness somebody has. But that's just me.
What is your Mount Rushmore of basketball?
Good question.
Just catch us playing the game.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I just talked about that.
From the beginning,
Everything in basketball related, like
from the
just
beginning
straight
until
hooping.
now.
No, he's talking about just straight hooping, T, not globalization, not all that. Just straight on the court.
Yes, just straight hooping. Nothing they do off the court. We're going to get to that in a second.
No, that's easy. Mike, Russell, Magic, and who am I missing?
Bird?
Somebody. Oh, LeBron. I'm sorry, and LeBron.
So Bird wouldn't be on there?
No. Bird.
You said Mount Rushmore. You didn't say top 10, top 5.
You said 4.
Yeah, I did say Mount Rushmore, but I thought maybe Bird would be on there.
No. LeBron passed Bird a long time ago.
I'm only shocked you didn't say Kareem, but
you know what? Here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you why I didn't say Kareem. And it's funny because people arguing, it's hard for me to argue back at them. Kareem to me is the Shaquille O'Neal before Shaquille O'Neal. And I say this in this way. Kareem individually is probably one of the greatest players we'd ever seen. And I'm not one to place a lot of heavy emphasis on championships being the primary thing that dictates what your individual greatness is. But the luxury Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had was, especially when he got to Milwaukee, he always in the bulk of his career, where you start judging really where he elevates himself to that greatness, and that comes with those championships, not the 6 MVPs, but the 5 championships. He had Oscar Robertson.
Yes, he did.
Who was, if not greater than, equal to him. And who else did he have on the squad when he won those other 4 championships? Magic Johnson. Just like Shaquille O'Neal throughout his history has always played with either if that player was not above Shaq as the best player, he was the player right under Shaq as the best player. Penny Hardaway was made first team All NBA 2 times before Shaq did while they played together. So it can be argued that Penny was a better player than Shaq when they played together. And what happened when Shaq left there? Who did he come and play with? With Bryant.
With Kobe.
And when he left there, who did he go play with? Dwayne Wade. That's why his whole career always played with the next best player in the league.
What about LeBron?
That's exactly what I was just going to say. LeBron has the same exact.
But wait, my thing is that they didn't win a championship together. Get what I'm saying about the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's what I said. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar playing solo without Oscar Robertson was probably the best player in the game. But when he got the second best player in the game to play alongside with him, what did he do?
He was more dominant.
It changed everything. So Oscar Robertson got there. They won a chip. He gets to LA. Now, we can argue all we want to. Was Magic Johnson the greatest player in the game when he first came in the league? We could argue. He was damn near close.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
what you mean, no? Yeah. He was close.
He was no doubt.
He was definitely in the conversation.
He was definitely in the conversation. I don't know too many rookies that can win a championship by himself without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in that final game. A rookie. Name me one more rookie.
Against a Philadelphia
juggernaut. One game.
Right.
All you got to do is take that one game. It's not like you got to do it for a whole season.
But he still came in second in Rookie of the Year.
He did.
Yeah, Larry won.
But this was the big question I had.
But that's the reason I don't have Kareem in there, is because I always look at the fact that a lot of the greatness that he had once it came to winning was attached to him playing at the time with one of the 2 other best players in the league. And to me, I try not to use that as a fault of his, because that's kind of the way it crumbled. But I can't just ignore the fact that as great as you are, you did, play with Magic. You didn't win 4 chips.
But
as
you
great
can't
as
do
you
the
are,
same thing for LeBron, though.
Yeah, that's where I was going with next.
I mean, like LeBron has always played with the top players. And I ain't talking about just one. I'm talking about 2 of them.
Multiple.
He's always played. He ain't won shit
by himself
without him having a top 2, having 2 top all-stars.
And that's the thing.
We all NBA players playing with
about Jordan and Pippen too. We could always say that too. Jordan had to have Pippen. We could all say that. But
And not
LeBron
only
had
that,
more than just a
he's
Pippen.
gone and went from team to team to
Yeah.
get this done.
He had to
of
jump to
recruiting them
young
over
superstars
to do that.
to fight
Like
for it.
Shaq himself said, "Shit, if that was the case, shit, I could have went and joined Jordan."
Teamed up with Jordan, yeah. But everyone thought that wasn't right.
Well, I have a question for you, Scoop, because something you said got my mind sparked, right?
Okay.
Julius Erving with the ABA and the NBA compiled stats is like a over 30,000 point guy.
One of very few.
I want to say before John Stockton took it over, he was the all-time leader in steals. Like, where does his resume, in your opinion, stack up? Because if you said right now that your top 5, if you took a LeBron James out because of the impact and put a Julius Erving in, would you be Would you feel that you would be discredited? Because I think he's got an argument.
Yeah, without question, without because and no disrespect to Julius, but once again, I tried to explain to you why I put Julius in my space.
No, that's what got me thinking, because that's very profound. Like, I never thought of it like that. Like, dude literally was the face of 2 franchises and carried 2 leagues.
Yeah. It probably would be discredited, and it would be hard to argue, because if we're dealing like what we're talking about now, the Mount Rushmore, we're talking about the basketball greatness as a whole. It would be hard for me to sit up here and say that from a strictly basketball standpoint, that he was greater than Kareem, that he was greater than Oscar, that he was greater than Larry. You know what I'm saying? That, that he was greater than Olajuwon, that he, that he was greater than Kobe. It's hard for me from a basketball standpoint to say that, especially when you look at the way Julius played, and you can start picking away where areas of the game where he was not necessarily great, and it's hard to do that against other people. Like Julius didn't have much of an outside game,
like jump shooting. Period.
Yeah. Right. He wasn't the greatest and most fluid dribbler. No. You know what I'm saying? His half court game was decent. His full court game, his transition game was something we had never seen.
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
Right, unstoppable. Right. Same, but and we look at defensively. He wasn't a lockdown defender. He was a great scorer, but when he got to the NBA, he wasn't a high volume scorer, but he adjusted his game to a certain degree. So you start looking at the nitpicking of what he could and couldn't do, especially if you start comparing him to guys like LeBron and Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon, where it's like, or Steph Curry. You're like, all right, it's hard, or it's hard for us to look at their games and see something that they can't do. Like LeBron's a better ball handling Dr. J. He's a better outside shooter than Dr. J. He rebounded better than Dr. J, well, because of his height to a certain degree, but Doc was a great rebounder for his side. LeBron plays consistently better defense than Doc does. He's probably more versatile in defense because he can probably guard a 2 and guard down to the 5. Doc's gonna give you guard. He can guard a 3 and a 4, and that's it.
Well, he can guard.
And he gonna play the passing lane.
Right. He can guard today's 4 and 5 because
right.
But
yeah, so I'm saying we can start getting into that, and when you ask me the question about breaking down Doc, why it would be dismissed, is because of those reasons.
Right.
And I'm not naive enough not to include all of those into an assessment I'm making. Like, Scoop, what's your top 10 from a basketball perspective? You know what I'm saying? I would have to take that all in consideration. And once again, it's still an opinion, but it has to be an opinion from my standpoint that not that you have to agree with, but it has to be an opinion that you just can't immediately dismiss.
It's thought-provoking, and that's what
I disagree, but at least you gave me something to think about.
Right. Yeah.
It can't be an opinion. You're like, oh man, that's just your personal. That becomes your personal opinion. That's not your public opinion. That's not the opinion. That's your personal opinion. And when we start giving our personal
all this stuff is personal
in public conversations, they become irrelevant.
Yeah.
But they're still fun to have, because even with that type of conversation as opinionated as it may be, there's still some kind of factual base. Because I know a lot of people that's got LeBron one. Like me personally, I'll fall on the sword. LeBron is not in my top 5. He's not.
Okay.
Because I've seen too many weaknesses according to what my eyes have seen from great standards, and even going back and watching. Like some people say, well, how can you say blah 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 about Bill Russell or Will Chamberlain. Like you didn't see him play.
I have Wilt on my mount.
But I saw enough clips and stats, and I dig in, I read. But like Bill Russell, great as that man was on the court, there were others that did a lot of things like differently and better than him. And he also had like 6, 7 other Hall of Famers on his team with him while he was playing.
Yeah, he did. He played with 7 Hall of Famers. That's insane.
Like, you can look at that and be like skewed, but when you look head to head, you say, well, hell, Bill Russell was beating Will Chamberlain, but Will Chamberlain head to head was giving Bill Russell all he wanted and then some.
Yeah, but that wasn't enough, right? That wasn't
enough.
That
wasn't enough, right? That wasn't enough.
And he made Wilt Chamberlain's numbers he almost made his numbers hollow. Like the numbers can look good, but if the numbers don't have any impact,
right? They told a different tale. Yep.
Totally right. He made it work, and also, you know what? Look at the numbers, but look at the percentage. Look how inefficient Bill Russell made Will Chamberlain as compared to when he wasn't playing against him.
Right. It was like 43, 44% from the field he was shooting.
Yeah, man. You were right. Yeah. Right. He made because Bill Russell. Will Chamberlain didn't have to go up against anybody on a regular basis.
Yeah, he didn't really have a lot of competition.
Smart.
For that, right? That's the one I was thinking about. Just the head-to-head matchup, but Bill Russell's mind,
yes,
the way that he approached, knowing that Goliath, I call him Goliath, that Wilt was this like monster, this alien, this like comic book character of a person, and could do all these things, and all Bill Russell did was say, "Well, I'm gonna make him play my way."
Well, he did more. I agree, he did do that, but let's take into consideration that old thing you talk about, what the intangibles. And we're talking about the intelligence of Bill Russell, and what he was able to do to think about how he could make Wilt Chamberlain as inefficient or not as efficient as he is playing against other, players.
Because you wasn't gonna stop him.
But here's the thing. Let's keep this in mind. We also said that Bill Russell played with 7 Hall of Famers. They didn't just become 7 Hall of Famers. Bill Russell played a role in making them Hall of Famers.
Oh, agreed.
So it's not just the numbers Will Chamberlain put up. What was he able to get out of his other players when those games came up?
100%.
He didn't get out of Hal Greer and Billy Cunningham the same thing that Bill Russell got out of KC and Sam Jones and Bob Cousy. Right. You know what I'm saying? Bill Russell found a way to get stuff out of his teammates to make them play at an all-star level, whereas Will Chamberlain wasn't able to do that. It's that, you make the players, that play with you better. The people around you better. Bill Russell was able to do that at much greater capacity than Will Chamberlain was able to do.
Agreed.
Yeah, so that needs to be taken into consideration too. The numbers may look good, but the numbers become hollow because while Bill Russell was getting 22 rebounds and maybe 22 points a game, and Will Chamberlain was averaging 30 with 25 rebounds, man, Bill Russell was able to get, Don Nelson 15 points a game, John Havlicek 18 points a game, Bob Cousy 18 assists a game, Sat Sanders 10 points a game and 10 rebounds. Sam Jones 24 points a game, KC Jones 18 points and 18. He was able to get, that's intangible difference when you start judging people's greatness. It can't just be look at the numbers.
So is that a negative to LeBron currently because of the hollow stats? Because the same thing he does and gets praised for, Russell Westbrook does and gets ostracized for. They say he's stat padding.
Westbrook.
Well, that's a good question. Because I think it's hard to judge Russell Westbrook in this particular situation and attach it.
I never thought he would succeed here when they made that.
Yeah, LeBron do the same thing on the court wise. They do the same thing.
I know, but I think you're dealing with a Lakers franchise that is in dysfunction, and Russ kind of walked into that.
Yeah.
I think there was dysfunction going on before Russ got there.
Russ and LeBron can't play together, though. That made it worse.
I hate to say it. I think a lot of it has to do, like before he even got there, you look at that Lakers team after they won the championship. To me, and this is just me, I really think a lot of them, including members of the coaching staff, got satisfied
with that bubble.
Yes.
Okay.
The bubble victory, which some people can come out and say that wasn't a true victory.
Well,
because they had
like
6 months before they started playing again.
Right. They
I don't believe in asterisks. They won.
Their hunger. To me, you start looking at that very next season, the hunger is gone.
Yeah.
For most players. Now LeBron is still doing his thing, but you need that.
Anthony
you
Davis.
need that us against the world. They lost that us against the world mentality. That's for real.
But and this is where I always went off with the LeBron James question too, is LeBron James does not win that championship with the Lakers if it wasn't for Anthony Davis.
Without question.
He does not win
been there.
in Cleveland if it
Denver
wasn't.
would have been there. Denver would have been there.
Like I mean, it's just like LeBron is always one of if not the best players on his teams, but he can never get past it without having another superstar on his team.
Right, but
that's why he's not, and I agree with JB on this one, he's not even in my top 5 either.
But if you take away, well, would you say Anthony Davis at the time that they won the championship was a better player than LeBron? Or do you say that he
in the postseason, I do feel he was.
No, in the postseason, I would say Anthony Davis was more important.
Yes.
Because of what he could bring.
Exactly. Because he was hitting the threes, he was doing everything.
Okay.
And LeBron was kind of just feeding off of him.
But he wasn't a better player, but he was more important to them winning, right?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Can we say the same thing about Kyrie Irving? Was he a better player than LeBron when they won the championships? Or was he playing better basketball?
He was playing better basketball.
At that time, he was playing better basketball.
But I'll say this because remember that one game they both had like back-to-back 40-point performances.
Yeah.
I saw something from Kyrie that was like, dude, you own some bull. I'm just going to do it. And a lot of people don't do that to LeBron.
Right.
Yeah.
Kyrie
which is why I feel like they didn't get along in the end.
Kyrie just stood up and was like, hey, man, I'm not getting you passing it to Dellavedova on last second time.
Right.
I'm going to do it.
Right.
Well, I think that dynamic is a little different, but still applicable to what we're talking about, where LeBron is still the better player.
Yeah, okay, that's what leads me to my point, is that when he was winning championships, it's hard to argue that at the end of the day, while somebody may have been playing better basketball, game to game or whatever, or somebody may have been the reason why they won the championship, he was never not the best player on that team.
Right.
I cannot say that about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, Kareem played in many time in the finals. Moses Malone took that boy to school.
Right, but I'm talking about even when they did win. He was the best player.
He faded a lot.
In Milwaukee, even though he had Oscar Robertson, he was the best player. But he was not the best player when Magic was the best player.
Clearly.
Period. So I hear what you're saying about LeBron, but my thing is different. At least LeBron, when he did win, he was still the best player on that squad.
Win or lose, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. There's a difference. I don't hold that again. Look, I'm the Steph Curry whisperer. I love Steph Curry. Like, that's my dude.
How could you not, man?
That's my his jersey hanging up behind. Steph is my, and that goes way back to Davidson days. I've been riding with Steph, and he'll be the first to tell you since day 2. That's my dude. But one of the things that I'm going to hold against him in either Rushmore or top 10 conversations, that he let another dude come in there for 3 years
and take over the team.
He's the best player on that team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kevin Durant, like, no, I'm the best player. LeBron never let that happen. And that's why I have LeBron in my Mount Rushmore, because while he played with great players and they could have been having better series, a better player, nobody elevated themselves to be greater than him as a player on teams that he was on where he won the championship.
Except for that one Miami series where Dwayne Wade actually was the man. One time it happened. Just one time.
I think even Dwayne would be like, no, once we turned it over to LeBron.
Yeah, he gonna say that, but I'm saying the gameplay, the stats, you saw it was Dwayne Wade.
I don't know. We can argue. I can.
Speaking of that, though, Scoop, do you follow the Bulls now at all?
Yeah, I do, and it's not a good thing.
Did you see that game?
Wait. Why you say it's not a good?
Because it's not.
I wouldn't say that. It's better than it was a few years ago.
Can Scoop answer?
Yeah, it is. But you know what? It is better than it was a few years ago. But I am I still go back to what I saw last season, and I to a fault.
Mhm.
And one of those individuals that judges teams on basically what I last saw when it comes to relevance. Okay. So the Bulls last year, and that's why I say unfortunately, you know, it's not just the fact that what were they 2-20 against teams.
We'll say it this way: they already matched what they had last year with teams that
made to the play. Okay, so here's a team that got to be a 6th seed in the league, but they were 2 for 20. Mm-hmm. And I think at the time that was maybe it was. I had to go back and look. It was one of the lowest in the history of the game against a team that made the playoffs. Right,
it was a team that made the playoffs. Yeah.
Okay, so that's not even my first point. That's not even my strength of why I'm like, unfortunately, I follow them. It's what happened to them in the series against Milwaukee.
I knew it was going to happen, so it wasn't really a surprise to me.
See, and I didn't expect them to lose. I mean, I didn't expect them to win. I thought Milwaukee was going to win, but it was how Milwaukee won or how the Bulls lost.
Yeah. It's a combination of both, actually. It really is. It's a combination of both. Like how the Bucks won and how the Bulls lost.
Listen to what I'm about to say, because my thing digs deeper than just wins and losses. My thing has to do with heart. Because there's no way, I'll say it this way. There's 3 things. There's no way you come into a series, a home game, into a series against the Milwaukee Bucks, tied 1-1, and you lose that first game, that home game, by what, 40 or 30? What did they lose by?
I think it was 36, I think.
36.
40.
40. That's 40.
Let's round up. You lose that game by 40. This is why I'm saying it comes down to heart, because there's 2 other components in this.
Without Middleton, too. Without their
Thank you. That's one. And what's my second one? That's most important of all this.
The lack of Billy Donovan making adjustments.
No, you let Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen. Oh, okay. Well, no, you did dig a little deeper than okay.
Because he's the guy who cost you AC Fresh. Right. He's the guy who took out your guy who got suspended games. He's the guy that threw the header at your batter at the plate. That's the guy. The last guy that should beat you is the guy that took out one of your main guys. So not only is Chris Middleton not there, not only are you playing at home, but you let the guy that took out your guy
go off,
beat you, right? So now we're talking about heart. That ain't got nothing to do with the 2-20 record.
Yeah, so I felt like JB said it right now. I'd say my number one was what JB said as far as like adjustments, because you knew that Giannis was going to destroy you. You can't stop Giannis. That's how this league is right now. You just got to contain him and don't let anyone else beat you, kind of like how Grayson Allen destroyed them.
He goes way farther than that shit.
But when it comes down to that, the Bulls don't have
to. First of all, what the hell did you expect? You go in there with a team that's full of fucking midgets. They got one big person. One. The whole point of having a so-called small ball lineup is to have the ability to outrun the other squad.
Yeah, and shoot.
They did not outrun the other squad because the Bulls were probably one of the worst teams in the NBA as far as fast breaks. Second of all, did you see fucking Milwaukee's front line? They too damn big. Third of all, the Bulls were too fucking soft. Like Scoop said, you go in there with a guy that sit up there and hurt one of your top players on purpose, who has a fucking reputation of doing this shit. Mm-hmm. And then you don't retaliate at all. I would have brought out the old Don Chain. I would have signed some dude from off the fucking street and tell him let him handle his ass.
What do you have? What is Tristan Thompson doing? What's he there for?
He was just on the roster.
And he came here to get some chicks, man. That's what he came.
Yeah, he probably impregnated a few of them.
Hey,
and don't forget, Bobby Portis took it personal too.
Yeah, and that's fine. You know, I'd rather Bobby Portis kill us than at that point in time, Grayson Allen. And I hear you about everything you said was right about like how they came play bully ball, trans out. But my thing is that you still it doesn't take size to make sure that Grayson Allen doesn't kill us. And I'm not saying you got to hurt him, but he's not dropping 27 or 22, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's not getting that, and that's not an adjustment. I even take that responsibility away from Billy Donovan.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that's one player. I don't care if it's DeMar. I don't care if it's Zach. I don't care if it's Vucevic. I don't care if it's Kobe. I don't care if it's Ayu. Somebody's like, I got him. I got him.
Nobody took the assignment.
If he scores 25 points this game, it's gonna be all from the line because he's not getting up any free shots.
Well, the sad thing is Tristan Thompson did call him out for that, but then Tristan Thompson never played.
That's Billy Donovan, though.
Yeah, I thought Billy Donovan was their worst night.
But regardless, I'm saying Tristan Thompson's there, and we're talking about it over the course of a series, not just that one game. But at some point, somebody has to stop that dude, or at least make an attempt to stop that dude. Yeah. Where's your pride at from not letting that happen? I don't mind the loss. That's what I'm saying. It's about how they lost.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and we grown men. We take ass beating all the time.
I think a lot of times a team is a reflection of their coach.
There ain't no doubt about that.
And I never liked Billy Donovan. I thought Billy Donovan
better than what we had.
Billy Donovan is a good to average ass coach. In college, he's a very good coach. In the NBA, he's all right. He's not a guy that I would have sit up there and wanted to run his team. Another thing, I like DeMar DeRozan. I really do.
Love him.
But DeMar DeRozan is a fucking playground basketball player, and that's why he couldn't get shit done over there in Toronto. DeMar DeRozan is 1-on-1. I think he led the NBA maybe the last 2 years on one-on-one baskets. And it's good sometimes when you need it, but you don't need that shit all the time, dog. I don't need to sit up there. Like, remember that old KG and them TV commercial, pass the ball, dog.
The fun police.
The fun police,
yeah. DeMar get that damn rebound, chances are ain't nobody gonna see that damn thing. He gonna get to his mid-range, he gonna pump fake a couple times, and then he gonna shoot it, whether it be 1, 2, or 3 people on him.
Yeah, 7 times out of 10, they ain't getting that ball back.
Nah, hell no.
But I think that goes back to coaching because his game is patterned after the dude who started that, the original black hole, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Ain't no different, but when you have a coach that, all right, okay, well, we need this, we need the production from this guy. We just got to find a way to make it work around him. That comes down to coaching.
So let me ask you this.
Billy Donovan had, I don't know if he had enough time to make it work with DeMar, trying to figure it out as he go along. And I'm not the biggest fan of his either, so I get what you're saying. But there's a way in the NBA because they got a lot of cats that play ball just like that.
Absolutely.
But it's on the coach to run schemes and run a system to get the best out of that while still making it work under other players. Now, you can't have 2 players like that. But if you got one, you got to find a way for that to benefit you, even in playoff situations where everything is shrunk down and they can key in on a player like that. You still have to find a way to make it work. And that's where coaching comes in.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, JB.
No, I was gonna say because I know we got to transition into some Bears finally. Scoop, we would love to hear your take on the Bears.
Do we have to?
We're excited.
you should want to after
man.
You don't have to if you don't want to. It's okay.
We take it hardcore here.
My question for you, with that being said, and I have 2 questions. One is related, one is not. Sub 500 record come All-Star break. Is Billy Donovan still our coach?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, without question. Yep, he is.
He'll be it for the whole season, guaranteed.
Yeah, he'll be for the whole season.
Okay. Yep. I just want to know because, in my opinion, it's like the Bulls are kind of like one of those, this is the best we're going to get right now type scenarios. And they're already asking, well, Io is playing so good. Should we trade Lonzo Ball? Patrick Williams isn't playing so well. Should we trade him? Like, there's all these.
You would have got some good stuff for Patrick Williams in the offseason, like I wanted him.
There's all these swirlings of talks that kind of lend to, well, now is he about to be a lame duck coach?
Well, I'll put it this way. I think he'll be here, and I think one of the things that's going to allow him to still be here is they're not going to hold Lonzo Ball's injury against him. Okay. And they will basically say, hey, you know what? This team was a different team when he's on the court, and he's not on the court.
100% right on that.
So they are different. We're not going to hold – Billy Donovan's not in control of that, so we can't fire him based on that. Right. Now, Lonzo's playing is a different thing. So I think that's kind of what I think is going to keep him around and save him. And and the fact of them getting rid of Patrick Williams a year after drafting him,
this is year 3.
2 years after getting him. That no GM.
Even though he did miss like a whole year,
huh?
He did miss like a whole year.
Yeah, he's only played. He really only played a year. No GM is going to do that. Not to themselves.
Would you have done that for a very good starting power forward, which I feel is something that this team needs? Because Patrick Williams is your power forward. He is not a power forward.
True.
He needs to be a small forward.
You need a shot blocking big. I don't want to with a power forward or fucking center. Just get one, please.
One. Let's see who's out there. And 2, from a general manager standpoint. I try to keep this in mind.
That was his first
because of his injury and because of all the new moving parts. Mm-hmm. Did you really, before this season, not taking the 3 games we got so far, before the season, has he really had a fair shot to show you what he's all about? Do you, once again, from a general manager standpoint, about people who sat up here in a room and looked at this cat and said, we need to get this cat before anybody else does. Think of all the players that are in the room that's still intact right now. This is their choice.
Yeah.
Would you say you gave him a fair shot? Because the one thing nobody's going to do is make themselves look bad.
True.
That's for other people to do. So if we right now, with really Patrick Williams, in all honesty, giving us 3/4 or a half a season sample size of what he is, if we're going to give up on him that quick and not make ourselves look bad?
I mean, it depends on how you said who's going to be out there. Like, right. I mean, that really comes down to it. Like, am I going to trade Patrick Williams right now for, I'm just throwing out a name, Taj Gibson? No. I'm not going to do something like that for a serviceable power forward. But would I trade him for we can say a young or a very good veteran power forward right now? I would, because I feel
even as somebody who drafted him. Like,
and that makes it harder.
That's what I'm saying. This is on you.
That was his first ever draft, too, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm talking about this is your choice. You as a GM. I'm trying to make you think that I don't know any GM who's going to do that because it's a reflection on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's looking real Anthony Bennett-ish.
Yeah.
And Anthony Bennett only lasted 3 years in Cleveland. No, he only lasted 2 years in Cleveland.
All right.
Let's go Bears.
I got to break it up, man.
Ball bag.
Good, we done kept you on here for an hour and 45 minutes. But it is a Chicago show, so I got to ask you, what is your go-to for pizza?
Italian Fiesta.
A lot of people say that. Damn,
have you had it, Frank?
I have never had it. Well,
C, what did we say? What did we say?
I kind of figured you were gonna say that.
Yeah,
a lot of people say that too.
It's amazing. Look, man. Look, I had Tinker Hatfield over here one time. If y'all know who Tinker Hatfield is,
now who's that?
Legendary designer who designed all the Jordan shoes from 3 to 16 and invented the Air Max.
Shit.
I had Tinker over here one time, and I got him some Italian Fiesta. And I told him, I said, man, this is gonna nap your hair up, son.
That's right. That's right.
I'm the only one who's
he's
from
like, hey, you know what? Michael's taking me to all these pizza places, the Giordano's and the, Gino's East, and I don't think he ever had Lou Malnati's or whatever, and he definitely didn't have any home run in. But I'm like,
funny because I just had Illuminati's for dinner tonight because my brother flew in from Texas.
Illuminati's is amazing. But there's nothing like home run.
I don't like Illuminatis.
I love Illuminati.
So your number one is home run. Your number one is home run in.
Who, me?
Yeah, home run in.
Italian Fiesta. I said Italian Fiesta.
Say home run in?
Yeah, I said no. Home run and frozen pizza is number one. Frozen pizza.
Oh, frozen. Okay, yeah.
No, I said no. There's no pizza in this city to me that beats Italian Fiesta. And my second one is probably one y'all are aware of. Have y'all ever been to the oven grinder?
The oven grinder?
Oven grinder.
Never heard of that. Where's that at?
Look it up. It's up north. It's in the Lincoln Park area.
Yeah.
Actually, I have heard of it.
Pizza oven grinder. They give it to you like
I never heard of it. I'm from the burbs.
Bowl and turn it upside down. That's my number two.
Okay, I understand.
Wow. Okay, fried chicken.
Harold.
We all know where this is going.
No question. No question. Harold's.
I don't even know why Gus's came here. Like, Gus, get the go.
Has anybody said something different other than Harold's? I don't think anybody's ever said anything different.
No, nobody's said anything.
Nah.
What? No.
I had jewel chicken yesterday.
Someone did say Uncle Remus.
Whatever.
I forgot who that was, though.
I think they said they've been to Uncle Remus, but Harold's is...
Oh, well, maybe that was it.
Maybe that
was it.
Hey, Scoop, I know I'm going to ask you this another time. Maybe I'll catch you on the low on the page or something. I just wanted to know for our college students out there what you felt about NIL. Put that on your brain and we'll rap about that later.
Who, me? Okay, cool. That's easy.
About that NIL. Yeah, I want to see what you spoke on.
I'm not mad at it at all. But I'll put it this way. I'm not mad at NIL at all because I'm not naive enough to tell myself that college athletics is not a professional business, so I do believe there should be some type of compensation. It doesn't have to be direct compensation, but I do feel that they should be compensated. But my theory is, I kind of expressed it in the book, is that
you did, yeah. That's why I asked.
Speaking in the burbs, I got Popeyes in the burbs, Anthony.
Oh man, stop with that.
Instead of trying to divvy out how you're going to pay these athletes, just make it blanket that every student at college that's on scholarship can get the same thing, that the laws apply across the board. So, it doesn't make any sense for you to be an academic scholarship and you don't have any restrictions on what you can do. But if you're on athletic scholarship, football and basketball, you have restrictions. My thing is, if you are at a school and you're on scholarship, the same thing a music person on scholarship gets, athletic scholarship gets. And whatever that is.
Right on.
Whatever, to me, that just evens the playing field across the board. So
thank you for that, because I was always one like we still dealing with the Ed O'Bannon thing, like to this day on video games. Even we still
we're gonna be dealing with it.
So, one more question.
What's the next Chicago question? I'm ready for this. What is it?
Okay, how Chicago are you?
You want another Chicago question? Okay.
I thought there was one coming. I ain't know you could keep it food.
I got more.
And
Yeah, we got a game scoop called How Chicago Are You.
Who was the second black mayor of Chicago?
Eugene Sawyer.
I should have known you're gonna be able to answer that. And
easy.
You know what I want you to think about, because we're definitely gonna have you back on the podcast. I want you to think about how did you become, maybe not even beknownst to you, how did you become the voice of the community as far as the culture and hip hop and sports and bring it all together, kind of like a Michael Eric Dyson.
Yeah, I have no idea, and I'm not vain enough to sit up here and say that I thought about it. I'm just blessed to, be in position to be heard. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't really reflected on how that's happened. Just honored that I guess over the years have said some things and written some things that resonated and made sense to people. And I've done it all with us as Black folks and having that, true to my heart, having our best interest at the forefront of everything I've done, said, and written. So that's, and
you've done it with fidelity over the years.
Yep.
That's what makes it so important to us.
Humility.
Well, I tell people all the time, being humble is very, very easy. And I don't even look at it as being humble. It's just a matter of you being human and not feeling that what you're doing and who you are is special. And a lot of times I think we get lost in our own little space and we start to eliminate what really has happened before us and what's happening around us because of the space that we're taking up in what it is that we're doing. I started off with this pod. We started off and I said I'm a writer. And this goes to what I'm saying about, remaining humble, is that if you really look at writing as a whole, writing is probably the second most used form of communication we have as human beings. The first being conversation, we talk. And probably that is writing, right? So how the hell am I, as a writer, going to think that I am special when the form of communication I'm using is that vast and I'm writing books and magazines, but every religion that we have in this world is based on writings. So how the fuck am I special when people are following the Bible and the Quran? You know what I'm saying?
It makes sense. It makes sense. When you put it in that perspective, it makes sense.
To put it in perspective, as human beings, you have to look at everything that's been done. You look at everything that's been done and look at the power that everything has. And you realize that you're just a small part of that. I am a writer in a world that has a history of the written word for centuries. Much more important and valuable to human nature and the existence of human beings than a basketball magazine or a sports, website. Come on now. Let's put this in perspective. But I am a part of an art form that does have the power to speak through written words.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But at no point am I going to get into a situation where I'm like, I'm a writer and I'm special, knowing, like I said, that every day somebody opens up a book where a religion is centered in the words that they're reading. There's no way I can look at myself as important when that shit still exists.
Well, we certainly look at you as important. And yeah, I mean, like I was telling you the other day, we admire the way you just say whatever the fuck it is that you feel needs to be said, and
it fits well in here.
You deal with it. So
being unapologetic and unashamed.
Unapologetic and unashamed.
Both of those things. You try to walk on that concrete.
And we certainly admire that. And we definitely have to have you back.
Please,
definitely have to have you back.
And no shameless plug. Get it, y'all. Get it.
Get the motherfucking book. Get the goddamn book, man.
Do they sell it in the burbs? Or do I gotta buy it online? We ain't got shit out here.
You need to come to the city, man. Get this concrete in your life. Come on, man.
Yeah, I got to get a lot of shit. Now I got
grass out there.
Yeah, you got to get the Chicago gray concrete in your life, man. Come on.
We gonna baptize Frank. We gonna baptize. He gonna get some of this.
Make sure it's at Harold's.
Man, you got to get them naps in your head, man. We got to get that. We got to get that started.
Yeah, we gonna do that.
We gonna baptize Frank.
Frank walking around with wave caps on.
hey, Frank ain't coming home, man. Frank gonna be like, yeah, baby, yeah, put your mama on the phone.
Take it
Hey,
easy.
Scoop, we appreciate you, bro.
All right, man.
Appreciate you, man. And
Appreciate you having me on.
we'll be in touch with you.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's talk again. Let's talk again when the Bears get 5 victories.
Oh,
Yeah, that's gonna be
might be a
soon.
few years.
Hopefully.
Now,
I'm hoping to have you back sooner than that.
I'll talk to y'all next season then, all right? I'll talk to y'all next season.
Ouch.
Nah, check this out. We'll have you back when they win 5 games.
Cool. That's good. That's good.
Wait, 5 games total? Because how many do they already have? 4?
3.
3.
2 game day.
So
that'll be down the line.
we'll get you back
Detroit
week
will be
16
one
because
of
that's
them.
probably where they'll get 5.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, Bears get 5 games. We back on.
Bet. Bet.
Yeah. Okay.
All
All
right,
right, Scoop. Appreciate you, man.
appreciate you.
Take care,
Appreciate you. Love.
All right,
No doubt.
Yep.
Yes, sir, brother.
Man, oh, man, oh, man.
Man, I love Scoop, man. He's awesome. He's awesome.
Yes,
Like
sir.
I said, he knows a lot about everything.
Mhm.
And he definitely showed us he know a lot. So if you ask him one question, he gonna give you a whole motherfucking spiel of knowledge and nuggets that you can just live with for the rest of your life. And a lot of basketball was talked about. We didn't necessarily touch too much on the game last night, but yeah, the Bulls came back and got in that ass. We're not going to talk too much about that.
Man. For
Yeah,
Boston's first loss, so let's give
they
them
got
that.
in that
Boston's
ass.
first loss
Yeah.
of the season.
They got in that ass. But yeah, so we gonna get to what everybody has been pretty much waiting for.
Yeah, it took too long.
Oh.
I'll admit that.
No, I
The
didn't.
Bears played a complete motherfucking game
God, it was a beautiful
last
thing.
night.
Yeah.
A complete game. Who's arguing? Who's arguing? Justin might have only thrown for 179, but Justin
I don't
looked
fucking
good.
care.
And you can see Justin is doing this every game. Justin is doing this. So I was pleased. EQ, we said it. I think we said it last
I
podcast,
love
right?
EQ.
That motherfucker, he's got to be.
Best blocking receiver in the game.
And he's a good route runner too. And he's got your size.
I would
all
go
around
as far to
receiver we
say
have.
he should be the number 1 wide receiver on the Bears.
Agreed.
Who's arguing?
The number
Christian
one.
looked like he would argue.
At least a 2. He's a 1-2 that we have right now.
I'll put it to you like this. I would love to see EQ get some more targets to use.
Red zone, especially.
Take advantage
we
of
would
that
love to
big
see
body
more like that.
and that frame. I love to see that. He don't have no fucking drops.
0.
Has not dropped shit.
And
You're saying that for a
him
Bear
and
fan.
Mooney are the best blocking receivers on this squad. People give Mooney a lot of flack. I do
Mooney's a
from
pretty
time to
good
time with
player.
him with his drop balls, but he does throw some nice blocks out there. EQ sprung a block yesterday that sprung Pettis open for. I think he had what?
That was a beautiful block.
That was on the end around.
It was like a chip back block. Yeah.
Yeah, so he sprung with it. So I told you I like the EQ coming out of Notre Dame.
Wait,
I
what?
think I was excited to see him.
Wait. You're supporting a Notre Dame guy?
I said, hell, I like Chase Claypool. I just don't like Big Stiffy.
Speaking of a Notre Dame
Yeah,
guy,
you can also say Mustapher too.
I don't want to call him Big Stiffy, but Big Stiffy, Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet actually had a
Yeah,
couple
good
good
game.
passes yesterday.
Yeah, and he had some great blocks too in that game.
Yeah, he did all right.
I'm at that point now where we're just gonna be all
out.
right with him. We're not gonna get anything elite.
He did better than his last outing.
Shit, you ain't got no choice but to go up.
I'm about to say it's hard. It's not hard to be better than
His
nothing.
last outing was not terrible. It wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible.
Hell, this one wasn't good. It was just
No, it was better than terrible. I mean, it was better than not terrible. It was.
I mean, so one regular catch and one miraculous catch that Justin had to do like 30 different things in order for that to happen. Like, how much of that is acting on Cole Kmet besides he caught the ball?
What does it matter what Justin had to do? What
A
does
lot.
that matter? That doesn't matter that Justin had to do anything to make the pass.
I will say this. That
That
game
matters a
yesterday
lot.
was brought out
Why?
by Gabe.
Why? The
What do you
pass
mean,
was
why?
made. The pass was made. Who cares
Look at what Justin had to do and the trouble he had to get out of to be able to make the pass to Kmet.
We
You have to honor that.
We talking about Cole Kmet. What did Cole Kmet have to do with Justin not being able to easily make the pass?
Because if you watch the play on the first read, Cole Kmet was not open. Justin had to do all this pirouetting and scrambling for Cole Kmet to get open.
At least he kept going. Most
He
of
had
the
to throw a back shoulder fade on the sideline. So, like, no, do not discredit Justin for what he did.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not discrediting Justin. I'm just asking, what does that have to do? What does Cole Kmet have to do with Justin not being able
Cole
to?
Kmet wasn't blocking, but I mean, I understand what JB's saying. He didn't get the separation. He didn't get open right away. But I mean, he was running the route he was supposed to run. At least from what we see, he was running the route we were supposed to run
and made a spectacular catch. That's
yeah,
what I'm talking about.
He kept running a
I'm
route.
not necessarily talking about the progression of it. I'm talking about
the Bears won. Let's try to get positive here. Stay with the positives.
I'll give you something positive.
Let's hit it. Coaching had a good game. There's some good positives for you, JB.
Coaching did have a good game.
Let's see finally open the playbook. Shit.
I believe you. Yeah.
I'll give you something positive. When it comes down to Big Stiffy, it's not that I root against him. I want the fucker to do good.
You always want any Bear player to do good.
I want him to do good. I just don't think that he's that dude that they want him to be, or that we really want him to be.
I'm getting there too now. Sucks.
So, yeah. So let's talk about Mr. Fields. You know what? When I see and I analyze Justin, we get on him a lot about holding the ball because I think he's got that competitive fire that's almost to a fault.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, me and JB, we was watching the game yesterday, and I stood up there and said,
where was my
he's running away. He doesn't throw away the ball. It's like because he's trying to be fucking perfect. He's trying to make a play on every fucking down. And sometimes it's just not gonna fucking happen. Sometimes you just gotta throw it away and live for tomorrow. And it's a detriment to him because he's trying to be that perfect player. He's trying to sit up there every play. I gotta make a play. Either I gotta make a pass or I gotta sit up there and juke some people and get a run and make a first down.
Right.
And it cost him sometimes because some of them sacks yesterday, yeah, they were on him. Because especially one where he went to the right where he got sacked. Throw the damn ball away.
I agree with you on that one, but did we also see where Sam Mustipher was?
You talking about the one where he spun around? And was I saw
he
that.
literally circled around 3 times trying to find somebody to fucking block while there was 3 people in front of Justin Fields.
I'll put it to you like this. God must love Sam Mustipher because somehow, some way, that son of a bitch keep playing. Even when they get benched, the son of a bitch still play.
I feel like Sam Mustipher made a deal with the freaking devil because everybody who takes his position gets hurt and Mustipher gets it right back. It's like, you gotta be kidding me.
I wish we could show that last night. Me and Chris, remember we was looking at it like, man, where is he going? Like, he's literally just.
What is he doing?
Like, I know I tried getting T to upload that, but we're having uploading issues. It sucked. But
yeah, it was painful to watch him, man. He's just horrible.
I say this because I was watching I go back and I watch like the all 22 footage and everything. And I was just watching, like, it's still sometimes when like Justin says hike and he got somebody in his face, like before he's at his third step of his drop back. Like, we still have to shore that up. But I will say this. I did notice Getsy moving the pocket a lot more, which was good. And I did notice him. Remember, Chris, we were watching on the rollout, cutting the field and have 1-2, throw it away or go.
Yeah.
That did help, in my opinion.
A lot.
But now when you open the game up, because I look at it like this, as much as we wanted touchdowns, the Bears did capitalize and had a lot of drives where they at least scored points. That's huge.
Yes.
We get down there, we at least got 3. We wanted 7, but we got 3. I'll take that. I'll take that because now that's improvement.
And I don't understand why the fuck do they not throw the fucking fade when they down there?
They don't at all.
They never do. I don't
Put
understand.
Big Stiffy over there on the fucking island.
Let him go up there and get it. And you have
what
St.
he
Brown
can
too,
fucking
who's
do.
big. St. Brown's a big target. Throw a fade up to him.
Shit, you got N'Keal Harry. Let's give it up for N'Keal Harry for his first.
You got his, yeah.
Chicago
He
Bears.
had 1 catch, 14 yards.
He had
You know,
some
he-
solid blocks too. He
Yeah,
had
he had
some
some
solid
nice
blocks
blocks,
in that
yeah.
game too.
They'll
He's a
integrate
big
him little
boy.
bit.
Yeah, he is.
He's like 6'4", 220.
He's a big
But-
boy.
big guy.
I want to tip my hat off to the Chicago Bears defense.
Oh yeah, that was
Because for the simple fact, in these what has it been? 7 games? The Chicago Bears defense has only allowed 1 touchdown in the second half.
And I'm telling you, those D-backs are playing freaking.
Hey, Kyler.
Tyler, I know.
Brisker.
Mama Gordon, if you're watching,
Welcome
I
to
know
the NFL,
we-
fellas. Your
we were
first
talking and we were giving. You were even telling your sons like, "Where was that speed?" I thought that was a pick 6, man.
Hey, I told you that son of a bitch fast, man.
Yeah, he is.
He
But
fast as fuck.
Yeah,
That was a beautiful read interception. Hey, Brisker, a one-handed interception. That was a freaking.
Look at Gary Charles S.
That was a game changer. That one pick because they were marching right down the field when he got that interception.
Well, that's after he got kneed in the balls.
Dude, that was
Not a quarterback.
like
Yeah,
seriously.
how
You
is that
always
not a
talk
flag?
about
Like
protecting
Matt
the
Jones
quarterback.
kicking
Yeah.
like the Draymond Green crap. Like,
Yeah.
how is that not a penalty? Like,
You
can
always talk
call
about
this to
protecting
protect
the quarterback. That looked dirty.
It was absolutely dirty. But my point is like, and again, this is where I go off on my tangent. You can't hit the quarterback. You can't sneeze on the quarterback. You can't fall. All this shit to the quarterback. But you can kick somebody in the big game. Like, come on.
You can't
The
do
quarterback can do whatever the hell he wants.
You can hit the shit out of Justin Fields because, like my man Anthony just sit up there and said, he got his ass crushed, and there
All right.
was no roughing the passer.
Let's
On that play to connect.
let's go to that play.
We was watching.
That
on
was
play to connect.
that was an amazing play by Justin Fields. That was and he literally hesitated on that pass, knowing he was going to get his ass destroyed, just to have that little pocket open with that sidearm.
Bro,
We could all say Mahomes.
Quit
Pass
calling that
it.
play because that play works like 10% of the time. Because how many times this year have we seen that ball get batted down?
Get
by
batted down.
Always,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're waiting on that shit. It's like, I mean, like, damn, it's so fucking comical. You can see that the shit coming. That's why he had to sidearm that motherfucker. You
And
can see
I'll
that
give some props to Getsy, although I know he didn't listen to us, but they finally were on the goal
You
line,
can go to commit. Seth
put in
Brown.
Corey Blasting game with David Montgomery. They used the fullback and David Montgomery, and what happened? We scored.
So why don't we I guess maybe we don't have to look at all of it, but let's just go ahead and look at some of it.
Out to his right as they move him, and he hits Mooney. Darnell Mooney, a nice move, and they roll. Play action from Fields. Plenty of room, and he's able to hit his receiver, Equanimous St. Brown. Here is a pitch to Montgomery. Got around one tackle and bites off some of the yardage for.
I think he's going to be a real competitive, solid player for the New England Patriots.
3rd down and 6. Fields is able to find his target, St. Brown. And Sam Mustipher, who struggled at center, back in the game. Pass over the middle, and wide open is the former first-round pick by those situations. The Bears went 0 for 3 against Washington. Fields takes off. Left side, he's in. Touchdown.
An outstanding pass protector as well.
Jones is going to run for it. Get it. First down, the first of the game.
And he didn't last long.
2nd and 6. Jones throws. Good throw. Pass caught. A read grab.
You're right. Jones definitely wants to see more play action continue to be called.
Here's one floated for Smith, and it's picked. Brisker, the rookie. 3rd down and 5. Blitz coming. Passes to Stevenson. He's out. And near the season long for Ramondre. Play action. Floated and wide open. Spinning grab by Myers. Touchdown.
Eberflus has a decision if this is anything close.
Fields. That pass was tipped and picked. Intercepted by Miles Bryant.
Offense has been awfully good at creating big plays this year.
Stevenson walks in, touchdown. Rookie Treston Ebner is in there along with Herbert. Little play action from Fields, and he fires over the middle. Pass is caught to the third down and 5 on the road, and this is a quarterback run over the left side. First down. Blitz. Fields throws to Herbert. Has blocking. Has a touchdown. Here is a miss on the handoff. Myers couldn't get to it, and the Bears say they have it. And they do. Looking up for that.
Yeah, he sure is. That knocked him out of field goal range.
Third down and 14. Fields in trouble. Able to pick his way through. Takes off. First down. What a play by Justin Fields. Fields throws to the sideline. He's got a receiver, Mooney. He's got a first down. Ball is on the ground. Fields picks it up. Shows off the speed and has a first down. Justin Fields, by far the leading rusher in this game for either team. A handoff here is to Dante Pettis. Pettis with a big carry. Pressure. Fields gets away for the moment. Throws downfield for Kmet. And the catch is made. On the road, good work by Alan Williams, the defensive coordinator. Short punt, Dante Pettis on the run. Full head of steam and out of bounds inside the 40.
On the players. Said he's had great players over the years, and that's why they've won the games they've won.
Here's a pass to St. Brown for a first down. Third down and 1. Montgomery picks it up. Still rumbling. Down near the 6. Montgomery is in for the touchdown. Second down and 20 as a result. Zappi passes in the air and intercepted by Smith. Tipped at the line, and Roquan Smith with another takeaway for the Chicago.
He turned him around pretty quickly without really a whole lot of good players, and then they got better players in, and they got outstanding on defense.
This is going to be intercepted by the rookie Gordon. Kyler Gordon just runs out of gas. Long way to go, but this is a game that these Bears and Matt Eberflus, first-year head coach, should be really proud of.
So we did watch the whole thing, man. I love it. I love it. So
Thank God, man.
I wanted to bring this up before anything else, and I was going to pull it up as a post-it note because we had a lot of people comment on it. Mm-hmm. But last night I said, if Khalil Herbert, every time he makes a big run, does it make David Montgomery more expendable? Not saying that we would trade him or get rid of him. I'm just saying that does it make it more likely that he would have to take a team-friendly deal to stay?
Well, he's going to have to take a team-friendly deal to stay, I feel.
What is a team-friendly deal? You have to ask yourself that first.
A team-friendly deal is not the money that he wants.
Well, we don't know what it is. Because, right, we don't know what
No, we don't know what it is. But with the Bears' history, whatever that number is, they ain't going to give it to him. Let's just say it's $14 million per year.
No, it's not going to be. I'm thinking more of that 5 to 7.
10 max. I wouldn't do anything over 10.
I don't even think
backs come a dime a dozen. They come a dime a dozen.
That's
why?
Not true.
No, that's not true.
Why?
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
no, they've been devalued, but look
you
how
can find you a good running back in the 4th round.
That don't mean you can find a good one. That doesn't mean that he's going to be fucking productive.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a difference. The shit that hold on. You've seen David Montgomery here for some years.
No, then
how many tackles does that man break?
A good running back may not come a dime a dozen. I say running backs come a dime a dozen.
Yeah, a mediocre
You
one.
can say that about any
You don't
position.
know where we're going with this
That's
offense
not
next
true.
year either.
I'll say this.
I don't know.
I'll say this. For your narrative, Terrence, I can understand that, T. But if you look at right now, today, NFL, look at the teams that are winning and look at what they're doing. They've got good running backs.
Yep. It's different this year. It really is
different this year. So to say that the position itself has been devalued for years, right? But when you sit up there and you have a person that literally can say, well, my line don't have to be that great because I know my running back is going to break at least 1 or 2 tackles before he gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's a specialty that not everybody has, right?
Very few.
Very few. And we can go through history, right? Just most recently, obviously, Derrick Henry, right? Maybe before that, Marshawn Lynch. But other than that, it's not too many people that literally are breaking tackles in the backfield when you're getting the ball handed to you and still getting positive yardage.
Yeah,
now,
I agree.
Am I saying that you're going to pay David Montgomery, Ezekiel Elliott money? No. But,
I don't think anybody is willing to do that anymore because of Ezekiel Elliott.
Exactly. But then you have a person, again, team-friendly deal, you talk about $5 to $7 million, right? If David Montgomery wants to stay here, I'm paying. I'm going to do what I need to do to get David Montgomery to stay here. Yeah. That's just me personally. Because now, if you let him walk, now Herbert becomes your first.
Herbert's not a down running back.
He's not because and if you notice, if you really watch the game, me and Chris was doing it last night, when Monty's in, they run more of a power run game. Mm-hmm. When Herbert's in, they run that zone, that Mike Shanahan zone, Terrell Davis stuff.
It's a great 1-2 punch that you could have.
I agree.
If you're convinced to keep Montgomery here.
I agree. And the way that this team is constructed, like we've been asking for 6 straight weeks, when you're in the red zone on the 1 or 2 yard line, why don't we go fullback Montgomery? They finally did it last night, and it worked like everybody in America knew it would. So now they're not outsmarting themselves. They're actually playing football, which is all we've asked them to do. Luke Getsy, I don't need you to be the smartest guy in the room. I need you to be adequate. I need you to make the right call at the right time. I need you to not be so conservative to the point where you're hurting our quarterback.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing you bring up, too. David Montgomery is a good blocker, too. He's just going to help field protecting him as well.
Herbert is not a blocker. And
no, he can't block at all.
Thank you. When you go max protect and you got Herbert in the game, you might as well just say he's not there because that's another reason Justin's going to get hit.
And if you know
Herbert's improved in the passing game. I'm going to give him that.
But that's the thing, though. See, he's improved, but it's not that much.
Exactly. Like he's still not an every down.
The ball is like right there.
Right.
So you gotta catch it. I wouldn't send that son bitch out on no damn routes and tell him, hey man,
And Montgomery, you can
10-yard out and catch the ball or 10-yard in and catch it. Hell no.
Herbert is a great running back for checkdowns and screen passes. I will give him that. But as far as actually running a route, no, there's no possible way I would trust him in running routes.
Absolutely not. And I wanted to ask you guys this because how do you all feel about the amount of designed runs, like actually quarterback designed runs that were called, as opposed to how many times Justin has to scramble on his own? In my opinion, I like it, but I don't because that's extra unnecessary hits.
Agreed. But at least he's bracing for those hits. That's kind of like a difference here. And when we're talking about that, like this year, I don't want him to do it, but he's going to have the RG3 type treatment this year. He's going to have those.
That didn't work good for RG3. That's a bad comparison.
I know that. But it didn't. They kept doing that for him. You got to go out and get weapons where you don't do that for Fields. But this year, what he has, that is keeping the defense guessing. Because when he's back there in a 5-man possession or protection, all wide receivers out, he can now just take it and run. That's going to keep the defense guessing compared to, he's dropping back. Just go after him and keep him in the box.
I like what I saw from the offensive line yesterday. I like Schofield at that left guard position.
Yeah, Schofield played the game.
Remember? Yeah, he played a good game. He kept his ass pretty damn clean. Like I said, some of them sacks, probably even majority of them sacks and pressures was on Justin. But yet, when you sit back and you look from his point of view, from his field view,
nobody
fucking open.
And you want him to go through all his progressions.
You want to, and a lot of times he does.
He does.
But
see his
like I said, he has to live to fight another day. So instead of taking that extra hit, just throw the ball away.
Throw it away. I agree.
Well, that was my point in asking that question to y'all. Because now I said that was my point in asking that question to y'all, because now he is taking extra hits. I hate to compare, but I think that was Anthony. Was that Anthony had brought up Cam Newton? Kind of similar to what they're doing with Josh Allen now, where they call design runs, but whereas a Josh Allen might make a run, get hit, now that's that extra 15 yards. Justin's getting hit, and he's not getting the extra 15 yards. So it's like you
gets him on the slide.
Take that into consideration, right? Like, am I still design runs is definitely a part of the Bears' offense right now, and necessary as far as the development of just gaining yards, getting first downs. But like I said, he's already running when plays break down and nobody's open. To add an additional 4 to 5 design runs, in my opinion, because we know he's not the greatest of sliders.
No, that's where he gets his penalties, though.
But is that going to be detrimental, putting more unnecessary hits on him?
He's better than fucking Mac Jones that like to hit people in the nuts with his damn cleats.
Well,
I'll put it to you like this. The design runs, I'm a little nervous on that too, JB.
Nervous, no doubt.
I much rather have Justin get to the point where he's delivering the ball on a more consistent basis, where those design runs come in as a surprise. Not
as a surprise, yes.
Definitely need him to sit up there to do.
Absolutely.
And also, I think Bullitt said that TD pass to Herbert was a horrible throw. Actually, Bullitt, that was a very good throw.
That was an amazing,
terrible
first time. That shit would have been knocked down or possibly picked.
No, it was a great read. Bullets is talking about the way the ball.
Well, it wobbled. Yeah, it wobbled. With that sidearm
that
they had. Yeah, that dampy weather that they had. I don't care because it hit him right in the chest. It was a wobble, but it still hit him right in the chest.
Yeah, it got there. And what I'm sitting out there saying, and I get it, Bullets, it may look horrible, but how many quarterbacks in the league is going to be able to pull that off?
Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and
I don't see Lamar Jackson.
And Aaron, that's about it. No, he throws a lot of sidearms.
Does he throw that? I don't watch him that much, unfortunately.
This shit gets blocked at the line a lot too.
But it like I said, it ain't too many. You just probably named about a handful that can sit up there. That can,
and all of them are elite quarterbacks.
Yeah. So
the improvement on Justin, and then two things. Well, no, not really two things. It's really three things. But the two things that I saw from Justin last night, he did have more of a calming poise to him, which to me is important because we all say when the game slows down for certain quarterbacks, right? He's able to produce a little bit better. But I still see certain things where I'm like, damn, Getsy, you ran 3 people to because remember, Chris, we was talking about the same formation and they kept running to the same spot within 10 yards of each other. We're like, where's the slant? Where's the deep over routes? Where's the chip and release?
Where's the goddamn post? Damn.
Hey,
there's a lot of shit that we
any fucking post.
That shit is very successful in Madden.
Shit, it can be successful in a goddamn league if you got somebody throwing the damn shit.
Yeah.
I look at it like this. When I saw New England come down, I think that was Devin McCourty. They were in straight up 8 in the box, cover 3. Take a shot. Yeah. Take a shot to the middle of the field, like you said, Chris, with the post. But I don't think so I think they're spoon feeding Justin the offense because I'm looking and thinking like, man, how many times did I see Aaron Rodgers just throw the deep ball to Devontae Adams or to Vontez Scanlon?
I've seen a lot of drops this year for him.
Shit, he threw the ball. He threw a sideline throw to fucking Aaron Jones that got them a fucking TD last week.
Right. So I'm looking at the offense that Getsy's coming from, but I still see a lot more down the field shots that they take in that offense as opposed to what Getsy is giving Justin. That's why I say I think he's spoon feeding him. But like I said, we all know once that pocket moves and you roll out, But what a lot of people don't realize, to Getsy's credit and detriment, when you roll that pocket and you split the field in half, whatever side that pocket is rolled to, now you either have 1, 2 reads, you run or throw the ball away. So when people are saying, "Oh, why didn't he go backside? Such and such was wide open,"
you don't do that shit.
Play design.
Yeah, you don't do that stuff.
And that's what I'm saying. Like
you throw back on the other side of the fucking.
Yeah, that was very,
especially not on the rollout. You know what I'm saying? When the pocket is moving, and that's what I'm saying. Like people that still say, "Oh, Justin could have did." He was 13-21. I think he had a good game, right? Yeah. But people are still saying, "Oh, this person." Hey, once he was on the roll and made that decision, that backside is irrelevant. It does not exist. Bless you, Frank. It does not exist. Yeah. And that's why I'm like, but look at what Justin did. Chris, last night we applauded that he threw the ball away. Like that's the first time we've seen that in like 3 games. He literally threw the ball away. And we're like, he's getting it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that he does that because I don't know if he believes that they're going to get another opportunity to sit up there and go out there and score points because the offensive line can be so bad, because the receivers are not getting that separation. So I think he tries to go out there and try to get as much out of them as he possibly can, where he needs to realize that you're more than likely you're going to get another chance to live and have another play tomorrow, opposed to sitting up there, man, I got to make this fucking play.
Utilize your special teams. Down, I understand. Utilize your special teams. Like literally, it's okay to throw the ball away and flip the field. Yeah. Our defense is playing well. It's okay. It's okay.
And let's not forget, New England has a good defense.
Top 6.
They
6 or 7, I thought it was
ranked. That was a great game plan that they built up. Belichick was not expecting that shit. That defense was not expecting that.
Yeah, and Bourne got his
because
ass.
We were asking
him yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
He was getting kind of ate up a little bit.
Yeah.
He was getting
and that's another thing. Like we were sitting up there talking about. You got to make adjustments as an offensive coordinator. So if you see that he's having a problem with this guy, have a fucking tight end over there. Because Jordan was the main motherfucker that was coming up in there.
Well, remember, they did do it when Wesco came in the game that one time. We saw Wesco chipping down, didn't go out into the route. It was almost max protect, but they ended up having, I think it was Herbert swung out the backfield. They sent out 2 receivers. Herbert came out. But
and they might, in order for the Bears players to try to get open some more separation, double move. I haven't seen the double move all year.
You never see
double moves takes time.
I mean, if you can get it off real quick, like if you're sitting up there, if you're trying to do a slanted then hook out, you got enough time. But the thing is this
like sluggo stick routes,
yeah.
I would say if there was one person I would trust,
they're having a hard time getting separation, and I don't know if it's the routes that they're calling. Depending on like what the defense is. And another thing that I said, I wanted to see this from Luke Getsy to allow Justin Fields to have more freedom. Let him have the ability to call audible at the line.
I agree. He called the defense actually yesterday.
If he see a defense in a certain set, let him have the ability to sit up there to audible it and call what play that he thinks is going to fucking work. This is all part of his maturation process. If you sit up there and say you want to see what your fucking quarterback can do, you already fucked him with the offensive line. You fucked him with the fucking receivers. Let him go ahead and say, fuck it. Hey, kid, we're going to let you do some things out here. We're going to let you audible at the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. Tell me what you see. Tell me what defense. We want to see if you can read them defenses. Yeah. Let us know.
Especially if they're literally the coaches are coming out saying he does phenomenal jobs reading defenses in the film room. Then why don't you trust him reading defenses on the field?
But again, I think that's false trust because now it sounds good to say that in the media, right? But then on the field, Chris, help me out. I forgot what play we were watching. But me and you both said, here he come. I think it wasn't even Judon. It was McCourty. I think we called the blitz. And Justin went like this. Like, you sure? And they still ran the same play. And the blitz came right up. Yeah. So he's recognizing the same play that happened 2 years ago where he got killed in that preseason game in Buffalo. He's realizing that. He's noticing it. It's coming. And he's recognizing and he's calling for it. He's adjusting the protection. Yeah. I see it. Like he's like, hey, look.
Yeah.
But when you have that, that's in my opinion when you call that quick little draw play. When you call that quick, you know what I'm saying, that quick little tight end chip and dunk.
Well, one thing that we do know, the kid is very smart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gone and heard Trent Dilfer sit up there and say he's probably the smartest fucking quarterback that he's ever seen. He's graded him the highest fucking quarterback that he's ever graded quarterback. And it's very rare that when you're doing interviews and the media's interviewing you, that the kid can literally sit up there and they tell him about a play and he gonna sit up there and say, oh yeah, they were in this defense. He tells you exactly what fucking defense that they were in and what they were running to try to beat that defense. So give him the fucking opportunity to make those adjustments at the fucking line. I want to see what this kid can do. I don't want him fucking handcuffed. I don't want to sit up there and be like, oh, okay, we'll run these fucking plays and then next year we'll let you out. No, motherfucker, that's what we got this year for. This year's going to be a fucking rebuild year. This year
we want to see what you can
do. So let's give this kid some shit on his plate and let him sit up there and be able to make them damn play calls so we can see what the fuck he can do.
1,000%. 1,000%. And moving forward, that's why I said I'm concerned because next week, hell, Michael Parsons is a different guy.
Yeah.
Diggs is a different guy. Like, as good as the Patriots defense was, Dallas is something different. And I just hope that he don't, I hope we don't have another Miles.
Patriots had a good, coaching type defense, a strategy type defense. Cowboys have a mean defense.
I will be there at that game. If y'all see Michael Parsons or somebody gets kicked the fuck out of the game, that'll probably be me because I probably hit his ass in the helmet with a quarter.
So we'll see you. We'll see you trouncing on the field, getting ready to take his ass out.
They'll take my ass out just like this.
I got some bail money for you, brother. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, man. Hell, they ain't gonna put me in jail for too long. Niggas gonna tell me I ain't gonna be able to come back. Hell, I don't plan on visiting Dallas no more any fucking way. Shit.
There it is. You're gonna be in the Hooskow.
Fuck it. I'm in Jerry Police Station and shit.
That definitely scared me. But one other thing I wanted to point out to you guys, when you look at the wide receiver, I did not see Isaiah Coulter like I thought I would.
Nah, I know you weren't gonna see him.
I was hoping. But how far on this depth chart is Velvet Jones falling? Like he's
in the doghouse right now.
He's becoming irrelevant. Like
I told you they got him.
You don't see him again.
But hey, T, you can't just say he's a rookie because look at all the rookies from last year and the year before that jumped out to you. Jamar Chase.
Mooney looked really good his rookie year.
Look at all the rookies that jumped out.
Those guys were polished wide receivers. You're not gonna see even if he wasn't.
Look what Chris Olave is doing this year, though. Look what he's doing. Look what Chris Olave is doing this year.
Look who you talking about. You talking about guys that's first round wide receivers. This guy was a third who probably should have been winning the third.
I get it, but I'm saying other people are getting the opportunity. Even we all love George Pickens. We all love Alex Pierce. Alex Pierce, matter of fact, I think was a 4th round pick. They're all getting opportunity.
Yes, they're getting all opportunities, but this is the thing about those guys. Those guys were legit wide receivers in college. Velvet, damn it.
So you're saying he was not a legit wide receiver in college?
I'm saying that he was not a complete wide receiver in college. I
agree with that.
He was a guy.
We never said he was complete because we called the routes.
He was sort of he's more like a Cordell Patterson type guy. Even like he got in yesterday. He damn sure got in. He was in there playing a little decoy. They have him come in motion.
They faked the jet sweep. He was on the goal line.
They're using him as a decoy right now. We know that he can't run the full route. We knew this coming in once they drafted him. So he's a project. He's a guy they're going to try to work on. I mean, shit, Tyreek Hill couldn't do the same.
Problem is he's a 25-year-old project.
But where is he now? Because listen to what I'm saying. Darnell Mooney, EQ, right? N'Keal Harry, they definitely about to put him on the field. They're about to put him on the field.
Yeah, he looked good.
I mean, he only had one catch, but I'm saying when we watched the game, he was on the field a lot more than Velus Jones was, right?
I never saw Velus Jones.
He was on the goal line. When Justin ran that
Was
touchdown in, they faked the jet sweep to him.
He's been out there.
I did not see him. Maybe because, as a decoy to think that maybe they're going to screen him out or try to do that.
That's where the play action came from, and Justin ran for the touchdown. So, but I'm saying, so that's 3 right there, right? Guess who ain't even back yet? Byron Pringle. You paid him. He got to play.
I put it to you like this, John. I know what you're getting at. He ain't going nowhere, brother.
I ain't saying no. I'm not saying about getting rid of him, but I'm saying like now, Pettis is on the field still. That's 4.
Pettis is going to be your permanent punt returner now.
Pettis was on the field on regular.
Because we don't have any receivers, right?
Yeah, he'll be permanent for the rest of the season.
You're not listening. My point is, I've literally named 5 wide receivers with legitimate route running experience that are going to get on the field before Velvet Jones.
No, I mean, I'll put it to you like this. Tell
me where the lie is, Chris. Tell me where I'm wrong.
The reason why Pettis is still on the team because he has special teams. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why.
I'm not denying that. But I saw situations in man coverage last night where it's literally one-on-one blow the top off this is Velvet. This is what you do best. He wasn't on the field.
I'll break it down to you just like this. You think Pettis would have played as much if Brian Pringle was there?
No, because they paid Byron Pringle. I think Byron Pringle's going to be on the field.
It don't matter. Even if they didn't pay Brian Pringle that, Pettis is not going to get on the field before Brian Pringle. Brian Pringle is the better wide receiver. It's just facts.
So,
facts.
But you got to
prove you can't put N'Keal Harry in there because he still has to learn the offense.
He has to learn the offense.
He still got to learn the offense.
Agreed.
So
but
Pettis is getting a lot of playing time due to the injuries and due to a lack of experience.
The problem, though, is Pettis is their best route running.
I'm about to say because Pettis can run. He might be
he's
the
a good
best route runner on the team.
Yeah,
might be the 2 best.
Just can't catch the damn ball.
It could be Pringle,
but here we go again. When he comes back, that was my point in asking, because last night when we saw the one-on-ones when Patriots went man on the 4 wide receiver set, that was the perfect time to say, Velvet, just beat your man. Just run the fly and beat him. He was not on the field.
They're not going to do that.
That's what he does best.
I mean, but they're not going to do that. They're not.
The reason they drafted him from Tennessee is because he can blow the top off. That's why they drafted him.
Let's quit acting like this offensive coordinator does what's best of what he should do for this damn offense.
He had one good game.
Because he doesn't do that. There's been plenty of opportunities this year where us as the casual fans that love, and I say we know a little something about football since most of us gone and played the fucking sport, sit up there and know like there's certain things like when you're down at the fucking 1 yard line, why the fuck don't you put a fullback that you actually got? You're one of the few teams in the NFL that actually uses a fucking fullback.
And you paid him good money.
And you don't even use them at the 1 yard line, but you did yesterday. That you did.
And you scored.
Yesterday. And you fucking scored. And you went on the same side where you tried to run that shit against Washington, and they stuffed that shit out.
Yep.
So why don't we jump to the other side of the ball real quick and give them some love? Because they played their asses off.
That's the fuck they did.
They played their fucking asses off.
Probably Quinn.
Let's start with the linebacker.
Roquan had a great game.
I thought you said linebackers because Roquan played a game. Morrow sucked.
No, I said
didn't look too.
Didn't really notice
Yeah, Roquan did his thing.
Roquan played a fucking great game.
12 tackles, a sack, and a pick, right?
Yep.
That was a great sack too. That misread type thing where
and then, didn't he do this?
Saw the push out and he just took.
Didn't he do this in the end zone?
Was that him?
That was him. He said, "Pay me."
I did not. I'll have to go back and look at that.
He said, "Pay me."
Wow.
I was watching Lance Briggs and Alex Brown earlier.
Eddie Jackson was right along with him.
Like, pay that man. Eddie Jackson was right next to him. You sure right. He was like, pay that man.
And speaking of Eddie Jackson, man, he made
He's having a good year. He's having a good year.
Whoa.
No.
He's having a good year. He's having a hell of a good year.
I'm not going that far as to say
he's having a good
year.
What are you talking about? Have you been watching?
He's
having a good year, T.
He's having a good year. I feel like Eddie Jackson
just like hate make you look foolish right there because the man has been having a good year.
In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, he's been having a decent year.
Eddie Jackson is a more than decent player we have.
Yesterday,
he's making tackles, T.
He made some good tackles yesterday.
He's been in coverage. Do you know what? He's one of the highest rated safeties in coverage.
Man, I don't care about. I don't
in the
care
NFL
about
so
paper. I don't care about the snap. I don't care about that shit.
So what are you watching, T? How can you not get this?
I'm watching the same game.
Hey, I'm gonna give you to the phone number.
Get it out your eye, you blind motherfucker.
I'm gonna give you to the phone number to the person who gave me LASIK because you need to get that shit checked out.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Hey, Bojack balling, man. Bojack balling.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
see,
I'm not supporting him saying
he's playing decent. I'm not going to say he's ball. I'm not going to say he's ball. He's definitely doing better than what he has.
I will say this right now, and I'll put this on record. He is having the most consistent. He's the most consistent defensive player all year over anybody on the defensive side.
You know, I can't even
argue that.
He has not had a bad game. He has not had one bad game this year.
I cannot argue that.
Yeah, I really can't.
And Roquan leads the NFL in tackles, not the NFC, the NFL in tackles. Hey man, he had no training camp, none of that, and he leads. Hey man, pay that dude. Pay that dude. Ryan Poles.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. What
if
goes
anybody is watching this that knows Ryan Poles or his little cronies that report back to what we say, if you don't pay that man Scrooge McDuck, we need to get your ass up out of here.
Well, hold on.
Smith.
In Ryan Poles' defense, it all depends on how much he wants. I told you, if I'm a GM, I'm not paying a linebacker $21, $22 million.
That's the market, though. See, that's the market.
Not the market.
19.5 is the market right now.
If they franchise him, he gets the average of the top 5, which means he's still going to make 18 or 17. Like, you might as well just pay.
Hey, look, 18, 17 is very good.
Yeah,
no, that's if you franchise him.
Yeah, that's if you franchise him. But you mean to tell me that you're going to pay a linebacker $21, $22 million on your salary?
I'll give him an even dub.
We can talk about a dub. I'm not going higher than a dub.
And I agree with that. We can talk about a dub, but with what he's doing this year, is he going to want more? Did he just up his price to 24?
He might have. Hey,
I'm just making shit up right now. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying the prices can go up.
And you know what? You know what hurts him? You know what hurts him right now? I'm sorry. What hurts this whole argument is because now he's playing better than the so-called people that are above him, the Fred Warners and everything. Although Darius Leonard's not playing, Darius Leonard's not hurting. I mean, Darius Leonard is not playing. He's hurt.
Well,
what they call Shaquille Leonard now, whatever.
But this is my thing. He has more tackles than they do. True enough. But does he have as many sacks in the set?
This year, no.
I think he's making more impactful plays because that's what it's about. Because you can have guys out there that's just a fucking tackling machine.
If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think Roquan has 4 sacks and 2 picks this year. So far.
He might have something
about right. Yeah,
I don't know shit.
Like he had our own.
We'll have to try to break him down for what those highest paid linebackers.
But he had our only sack, right? Our only sack this game.
Yeah,
he did. Well, that just shows you. Well, you know what? I was impressed by the rookie Dominic Robinson.
He sets an edge like no other.
I like that kid. That kid should probably be starting because Travis Gibson, he cool. Muhammad, oh my God, is he bullshit? He's not having a good year.
Pernell been balling. They kicked my man out the game.
Oh yeah, that was
I hate that. I hate that fucking rule.
Hey,
yeah,
no,
that was
hey,
terrible. I think
You
worse,
have to block the guy. You don't know if
blocks
he's
than
gonna
that, and people not get kicked out.
talking about some what do you say? Defenseless player or some shit.
Yeah,
like,
blindside defenseless block.
Like
He didn't even really get him like that.
he kind of just chucked him, right? Like
He's a big boy. You can't judge
he is,
him.
but I'm like to kick him out the game for that. Like,
yeah, I don't like that rule. I don't like that rule. I understand a defensive player at wide receiver or something like that, but
but some of them call. So you call case in point. You call that play on Pennell, but when Justin got his head knocked, you didn't call that.
He got hit. He got hit in the head on both sides.
He got rocked, but the defensive player threw his body, all his body weight,
right?
Which they claim that you ain't supposed to
do. Right. Like, make it make sense, refs.
So let's talk about these rookies, man, because they had a great fucking game too yesterday.
I told you Jaquan was the truth, man. I told you.
Yeah, Jaquan Brisker, boy, he grabbed that motherfucker and did he get flipped or he did a flip or
he
got upended, but
he got upended. Okay.
I told you that boy is something different. Chris,
we
used to watch him in the Big
next
Ten.
big thing. Hands
I
down.
really like Jaquan.
Me and Chris used to watch him in the Big Ten. Like, hey, dude is a problem.
Yeah, he had a nice ass pick.
Yeah,
and Kyler did too.
Yeah, Kyler's pick.
Both of them want to one hand some shit out here. He's like,
and Brisker still gave you 7 tackles. Like he's playing that role. He playing that. Again, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but he's playing that Mike Brownish, Tony Parrish role.
Yeah,
like he's creating havoc from that position. He's very, 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 very good in coverage.
Yeah,
he's come down now. Of course, he's been a rookie. He missed a couple of tackles, but he's also one of those players that's got that uncanny sense to be around the ball wherever the ball is. He's always around the ball.
I'll put it to you like this. He got that one hand interception. Hey, hold my beer. And he came back and got him one as well. I like that. And you know what? That's something that, you rarely see in a game. 2 rookies that were drafted
dominated
in the same fucking round sit up there and get a pick on the same fucking game. You don't see that often.
I can't remember the last time that's actually you know what? That might be one of those questions we got to look up because I can't remember that ever really happening.
Yeah, on the same damn team. I mean, like shit. I loved it. I was actually happy for both of those young men to see both of them sit up there, and you could tell they sort of, since both of them was drafted in the second round, there may be a little bond right there, and I know that's a great thing to sit up there and talk about. Hey man, we got our first pick today, man, in the NFL. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome. To the NFL.
I did. Although I love the play calling, Alan Williams, I got to tip my hat to you. You played, you called a hell of a game. But I didn't like, again, they moved Kyler back to that nickel in certain senses.
Yeah, I like that shit.
I didn't like that. He had been doing good as that number 2 on the outside. I understand what you got to do with Vildor because he's diminutive
but he's been playing pretty damn good.
He's had a solid year. Very nice comeback.
Vildor has been playing decent.
And Kyler's been stepping up his game too because he's not as much of a liability as he was at the beginning of the season.
He's not, but I would still like to see, again, this is what I say about the maturation of the coaches. I still would like to see, give me Jalen on one side, give me Kyler on the other side, let Vildor be the one to fill that nickel because at least we know Vildor going to stick his nose in it.
Right? I don't know about that one.
We've had small nickels before though, man.
Yeah, but it's not it's not about size, it's about coverage.
Yeah.
And Kyler has proven he's been in coverage because that's what he played in college. He knows that outside. He knows that deep third. He knows it.
I don't know about that, Anthony. I don't know if
Yeah.
you're gonna get rid of Eddie like that because
Well, he was talking about Eddie Jackson.
Did somebody say get rid
I
of Eddie?
figured he was like
Yeah.
this is the thing with Eddie Jackson.
Who
I
said that?
understand where you're going with
Hold
this.
on. Who said get rid of Eddie Jackson?
Eddie Jackson is having a good year because of how good Brisker is playing.
Yeah, he's back at his natural position, which is being a ball hawk.
Anthony said that?
Free safety type, reading type roles where he's not as much of like how we were just saying with Gordon, he wasn't a liability.
Anthony, listen to us and listen to us really, really good. The way that Brisker plays
benefits Eddie Jackson.
It benefits Eddie to play like 2018 Eddie. Because
now we have been saying that.
Now wait a minute, because we saw Chris. We watched last night again. We was like, I was about to say Getty, Alan Williams on that play call. Why did you bring Eddie down in the box? Eddie was underneath the linebackers, and it was a cover 2 over. You brought him down. If he had a drop back cover, what's his name? Don't get that catch. What's his name? That made Jacoby Myers don't get that catch.
Yeah, who was on my fantasy?
See,
I didn't play his ass. It don't matter anyway.
But that was a great call versus a bad defensive call. But again, that's the maturation process that Alan Williams has to go. I don't ever need to see Eddie in the box unless you know he's coming on a zero blitz from the safety position.
The last thing that I want all of us to touch on before we get off of here is this.
Boy, we had a time last night. Boy, we had a time last night. I'm just...
Did these motherfuckers win the Super Bowl?
They said they wanted Club Dub.
Is Club Dub happening again?
They said they wanted Club Dub.
Do we agree with that shit?
You know what? Honestly, big game.
Shit. Yeah, I don't
I ain't got a problem with it.
Big game?
Because it was Belichick, I'll allow it.
Huh?
That was a big game.
This was
because it was Belichick on Monday Night Football.
Belichick Monday Night Football, and he was about to pass Bears record.
Keep George Hollis's record.
What do you mean this wasn't a big game?
This was a huge. Wait, first of all,
not against Dallas. That's a big game.
No, it's a big game into the next big game.
That's a conference game. This was
no. I never had a problem with Club Dub back then.
What are you talking about? That's a big game. Your team is 2-4. They're still within reach of making a wild card. They're still in reach of their division.
Second place in the division right now.
So why are you saying that wasn't a big game?
Not because it ain't no goddamn Super Bowl. It ain't no playoffs.
It ain't gotta be a goddamn Super Bowl.
Football's still gotta be fun. It's gotta be fun.
Why are you partying? You're not a above 500 team.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Listen.
It's a big game. You won.
Listen.
That doesn't mean go party. That doesn't mean that.
Listen. The way that they won that game, accompanied with who the coach was on that other team, right? Because remember, he was going for his.
He won 3 straight games too, Belichick and those Patriots.
I ain't even worried about that. I'm talking about he was going for some monumental shit himself.
Passing Papa Bear.
Passing Hallis, right? And this is the first time in forever that we've actually beaten the Patriots in Foxborough. Those are some key things. So, yes, I want you to sit up here and say, go ahead and let your hair down a little bit. Go ahead and party a little bit. But come Tuesday, let's get back to work.
And they did that when they beat the Texans, too. It just did not go out because the game wasn't as big.
So let me get this straight. The only time they should sit up there and celebrate that is when they do what?
A playoff win?
Celebrate the win. Celebrate the win. Go out to dinner.
Ain't nobody about to go out to fucking dinner and
partying and posting
it
on social media. Why the fuck you doing that?
I just told you. Look who you beat. You beat the guru of coaching.
I know what you just said, but I'm explaining why I have the stance that I do. I know for damn sure when I was at Mount Carmel playing football, there's no fucking way he was going to allow us to go party and all that shit.
We're talking about a different time, my brother.
Be happy about the win.
It is
Be
a
happy
different
about the
that.
win.
You
Go home, go to bed. You wake up, it's a new day. You got another game to play.
You're talking about two different time frames, man.
Like
These
comparing
kids out here,
LeBron
that's
and
what
Jordan.
they do.
I'm old enough to call them boys.
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck what time frame it is. That's not how you handle that.
Those
What
kids
the fuck you want them to
deserve
do,
that.
huh? You want to? Oh, okay, we won. Let's go get ready. No, that's boring as fuck. Let them kids have their little fun.
Thank you, Chris. That's why I said the word kids.
Fun, man.
Those kids
first of all,
deserve that.
let's stop acting like they did this shit every fucking week. They did it one goddamn time this season. Let them have their fun.
I don't agree.
They said they wanted to bring Club Dub back. So hey, we might be seeing this more every single win that they make.
Hey, I put it to you like this: if they gonna sit up there and they want to dance after every game and they feel like they gonna fucking win, that's gonna get their ass to win. Hey, fucking dance every fucking game. I don't give a shit.
Again, I'm gonna say this one more time: those kids deserve that.
You talking about kids that's 22, 23 years old. These ain't no old ass veterans out there. You ain't see fucking Robert Quinn doing that shit, did you?
That's what I'm saying. Those kids, because I can call them kids because I have a 23-year-old.
Yeah,
those kids
22
deserve that.
Like, let me say this:
fun, everything
if
can't
they
be,
were,
the game is too serious for them all the time. They're not gonna have fun playing.
If they were doing that after a loss, then I'd be fucking pissed.
There you go.
Then I'd be furious.
I say let's get a winning record first. Let's get a winning record.
They could have been 0-15 and won their first game. They want to celebrate. They can celebrate.
Yeah, I'm not celebrating that. Let's get a winning record first. Then okay, I get it. But we're a losing team right now.
I think it's more obnoxious if you're 5-1.
Respectability, but now is not the time for that.
I think this is the time because now you're trying to change.
There's nothing wrong with having fun.
The first thing is this: you're trying to change the culture from one of losing to one of winning. So when you win a game in the fashion that you did, you have to celebrate that.
They weren't dancing around butt ass naked in the showers. You know,
I hope they weren't.
They probably
weren't doing that. I hope they weren't doing that.
I mean,
at least it wasn't on
they
camera.
were celebrating that they won the game. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Tell me this. Hold on.
There's a place to do that though.
So hold on. So tell me this. Would you have minded they did it in week 1? Because they didn't.
They did. They surely didn't. They
didn't do it in week 1.
They didn't do it. After they won versus the Texans, that's when they brought it up and said they want to bring it back.
So tell me this: why the hell would you want them to sit up there and do it? So tell me this: why would you want them to celebrate if they got a winning record?
I never said I want it. I never said that.
Well,
don't put words in my mouth.
Hold on. So you sit up there. You just said if they had a winning record, let's get one first. If you said if they have a winning record, let's get one first. Then you wouldn't mind them doing it, then, huh?
I would condone it if we have a winning record.
Bullshit.
You got to get to the winning record, and you have to learn. Listen to me. You have to learn and taste winning in order to get to the winning record. They don't know winning like that.
And when you're enjoying
why
the game,
can't they learn and taste the winning without doing all that shit?
They didn't do anything with dance. How is that different than what they did on the field?
Dude, it was like a fucking party in the locker room.
I didn't see any
and hold on. Let's get one thing straight. It wasn't like the whole fucking team was doing it. It was a few fucking players that were doing it. And all of them motherfuckers are young. All of them are young. I didn't see Robert Quinn old ass back there doing that shit. Nope. I didn't see none of the coordinators doing that shit. Hell,
I was going to say, who do you have else other than Robert Quinn? There's no old people on this freaking team. Like, I'm literally thinking, I was just like, who else? I mean, I guess you could say the veteran.
But
a veteran.
But here's the thing. If you take that away from them, then
what example are you setting?
Then what example are you setting? Because now winning just becomes what?
It's a job.
An objective.
It becomes, you know what winning becomes? Bill Belichick type mode.
An objective. That's what it becomes.
All right.
Have fun.
Yeah,
I don't
we
care.
won the
Like,
game.
the Buffalo Bills do that shit,
We're
but I
looking
understand what
forward
you're
to
saying.
next
They're
week.
winning,
Who
but
we got? Dallas?
Hey,
Yeah, we're going to Dallas.
again,
They have a great
you
defense.
put up 30-plus points. We never do that.
All right, so
We got 4 takeaways. We never do that.
And then you had 2 rookies that had their first motherfucking interceptions in the NFL.
great.
We never do that.
Okay, great. So what
followed
does
by
that mean?
4 turnovers in that
That
game.
means
I just
have
said
a
that.
club?
You never do that.
Yeah.
You never do
means
that.
have a club.
What?
That means
If they, I
kudos.
believe
I'm giving the award to
Janet
you.
said it in the
I'm
chat.
giving the award to you. Job well done, man. We
I
got
believe
it.
Janet said it in the chat. Janet said
let
it's
me-
not like they were out drunk off their asses at a club after winning one game.
Hey, look, right.
It
I
was
was
just
going to
in
say
the
that.
locker room.
It was in the locker room directly after the game. Nothing's wrong with that.
And
Nothing.
right, Anthony, they do get paid well for it. But guess what? There's nothing like having a job that you actually love or like to fucking do.
Agreed. I wish I can freaking go to work and fucking dance because I'm so excited to be there.
You can't even dance, Frank. What the fuck you
I'm
talking
white.
about?
You know I can't dance.
Hey, tell him, Frank, go ahead and do this shit.
I have 0 freaking moves. I'll be like, if you ever watch Rush Hour, I'll be Jackie Chan trying to learn.
That's what he just did. That's what Chris just did.
Exactly.
Kevin James. Kevin James. That is you.
Real
that
talk.
is you.
Real talk, Frank. I don't know why white people always pull that fucking move out. Every time I go out, let me hear that motherfucker.
Blame that shit on Jackie Chan.
Hey, we might as well get to some shot. You got something you want to say real quick, JB?
No, I was just gonna say Kevin Bacon can dance in Footloose, so let's not say all white people can't dance. And Channing
I didn't say all white people
can't
can't dance. I said why would
Wait. JB said he saw Channing Tatum in what was it?
Oh yeah, that freaking stripper movie.
No, he can definitely dance. I said.
I have a
y'all
wife.
saw that shit, huh?
I'll watch that shit with her.
Yeah, he can dance.
Yeah, he can move.
He motherfucking can dance. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
that guy's a rich actor who probably has people teaching him how to dance like that.
Say I'm my own supervisor. I don't dance.
Hey,
but do you love what you do?
I would have danced. I would have did the gritty all night. Damn it.
We'll ask everyone on the podcast there. Everyone send a video on the podcast.
Of you dancing. Yeah, everybody.
Best dance wins something.
Speaking of which.
Oh shit!
Is he going to the bathroom? Wash your hands.
We still have this.
Oh,
good day for Roquan to actually get ready to start auctioning that off.
Well, Anthony, I suggest you do a dance, then, my brother.
So then, maybe we should have people dance for it. Since
That's a good one. Everybody send their dance video.
Since we're talking about dancing, maybe everybody send in the dance video. Whoever has the best one gets
Roquan
the
jersey.
Gets the
Roquan. Have a little fun with that shit.
So how about that? I'll post it. So whoever sends in the best dance video, we gonna play the video, and you get a jersey. You get Roquan Smith.
Wait, we get the vote.
A really good season.
We get the vote.
Us 4 are voting
for
the winner.
All 4 of us. All 4 of us.
I'm good with that.
I love it. That's a great idea.
Why don't we have a finalist, and then our votes, and also those of the audience can sit up there and vote as well. See,
that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. So maybe we can vote backstage or before the podcast, and then who we choose as finalists, have them vote.
I like that.
We could do that.
We'll give it a few weeks to kind of let people get all their dance moves in line.
Right.
Mama Gordon, you got that? You got that, Mama Gordon?
Maybe a little before Christmas.
Yeah.
Nice
Christmas. I'll do my dance. See, I'm rolling the pizza.
Making the pizza.
That's a dance. You rolling the pizza.
Making the pizza.
Yeah, I'm doing a Q-tip.
Just not after the football game.
You can't stop it.
Not after the football game.
Stop it.
So we can go ahead and do some. We can go ahead and do some shout outs. I ain't got no shout outs. Shit. It's 11 o'clock. I ain't got no shout outs. Y'all got shout out?
Yeah, I'll start it off. Start from the top. All right.
Yeah.
Shout out to our guest.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
don't. You fucked that one up. You fucked that one up. So shout out to our guest. Phenomenal guest. Great insights, not just in sports related, but all over. He knows a lot about a lot. So that's always a very nice thing. Check out that book. I'm gonna have to check out those suburban libraries out here to see what I can find. If not, I'll order that shit off Amazon. Other than that, at chat lit again. Anthony turning into one of our number one commenters here. You're freaking always on fire now. Bullets, thanks for checking in. Scott always checking in. JB's mom, the mom of the podcast, always love seeing you on here. Janet, you were somewhat new a few weeks back, I believe, right? But yeah, you're always on here too. Love seeing you on here as well. I'm gonna give one shout out here since we didn't get time to talk about it here. Hold on. All right.
Hey,
Terrence went to his first hockey game. He admits he had a very good time.
It's backwards, man. Yeah.
Doesn't understand how all those hockey players with all them speed that they put in on the ice.
No, I did not say none of that shit.
You did say you had no idea how they skate so fast on that ice. You did say
that.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a very fast-paced game.
Goddamn fast. And have to hit the puck as hard as they possibly
And they don't look at the puck. They don't look at the puck either.
Fuck that, man.
Yeah, it's a difficult freaking game. But shout out to the Blackhawks since we didn't get to talk to them. They just won again today, beat another Stanley Cup contender. They're now 4-2. 3 out of their 4 wins were against Stanley Cup contenders. And this was a team that was supposed to be one of the worst teams in the NHL. So kudos to that general manager who I'm pretty sure I probably killed you a few times in my sleep when you had these horrible free agent signings in the offseason. But they're panning out. So, hey, good start. Hope to keep it going. We'll talk more down the road with them. That's all I got.
Yeah.
One other shout out. Wait. To my dad, how you guys brought up. I know he's watching from heaven. Always going to be a frequent person on this podcast, whether he's on this world or not. Glad you're not in pain anymore. And I love you. That's everything I got.
I'll go next, JB, since you don't want to say shit.
Look,
give a shout out to everybody in the chat. The chat was lit tonight. Great insight. Giving a shout out to Chicago's very own Mr. Scoop Jackson, baby, who will be back very soon in a couple weeks because hopefully the Bears will have 5 wins by then. And maybe we can get him to turn over and actually sit up there and start liking the Bears again. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Tilly's, Under Armour, Moore's Beer, who I don't drink. Y'all come out with a non-alcoholic beer. I'm there for you. And also remember, ladies and gentlemen, to like and subscribe to the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast. This is what we do. We're out here all the time. I want to give a shout out to my brothers, T-Nick, Frank the Tank, JB. Frank, special place in my heart for you, my brother.
Thank you, sir.
For what you're going through. Anytime you want to talk about it, I'm here. As one that lost his father as well. We can talk about some stories or whatnot. Talk some shit, laugh. You can drink. I don't. Well, yeah. While you be drinking that shit, be making that little bubble sound and shit. I was like, what the fuck is that?
You guys actually hear that shit?
Yeah, I can hear it.
If you ever see Beer Fest, when that bubble hits, you just got to turn the boot.
Yeah, I'm like, shit. I'm like, as long as you don't sound like that stork again and shit, like you did a couple.
Hey, you off the chain, bro.
Shout out to the kiddies. Their asses should be asleep. Otherwise, I'm taking fucking phones. I better keep this real quick because I'm pretty sure my girl waiting on me to come to bed, and I don't feel like sleeping on the couch. So I'm done.
Everybody in the chat.
Yep. Look, everybody in the chat. Moms. Scoop was awesome. Can't wait to have him back. Chicago bred, Chicago raised, Chicago loved. Shout out to y'all, my brothers. Again, this 3 hours didn't even feel like it because I'm with y'all. So it was good. Hey, Chris, I appreciate it. We haven't done it in a long time. It was great watching the game with y'all. I mean, with you yesterday and stuff like that. Just the things that we go through in life and the things that bring us together tend to be the same things. So, Frank, as another person that lost his father recently, I appreciate you. Bro, we love you. We here for you. Anytime, like Chris said, you need to talk, just reach out. We going to get you to the city one day. We going to feed you and watch some football. We going to get you here.
You two actually just gave me a great idea, too. Let's try to get like an after-show party where we all watch the game together and we all do a post-game together.
I'm with that.
Win or lose. Maybe pick a team that they could beat, though. We won't say it. We won't do it against the Packers because we all know that shit probably is not going to go well.
I'm with that.
Maybe
Frank.
the Lions. We have a shot.
Hey, I'm down with that, Frank. Long as you come to the city and you don't make that phone call talking about like, yeah, baby, put your mom on the phone. Yeah.
Hey, I'm
coming home.
I'm saying this right now. He will be catering out the Heralds. That's a fact.
Oh, no. I'm guaranteeing you, if you come here, it's going to be Harold's and Italian Fiesta waiting for you.
I'm game with
I'll bring the Giordano's.
That's a done deal.
As long as
Hey, Chris, tell them how we do, bro. Tell them how we do. It's a done deal.
Yeah, I ate about 5 pieces of fish yesterday. I rolled out that motherfucker morning. Oh.
Some good shit.
Hey, look who's
Yeah,
back.
but that's all I got.
How do they keep getting in?
I don't know, man. I think they get that shit off of Twitter. They got a lot of that shit off of Twitter.
So I said I didn't have no shout out.
Get a life, PAS.
Well, we know that was some bullshit.
But I actually have a couple. And the first one definitely is Frank's dad. I never got to meet him. We never got to meet him, but I'm sure if Frank is anything like his father, he was a great guy. Frank, we love you, man. You're a good dude, man.
I
appreciate that. You know, anytime you want to talk, everybody hold your parents close. Hold them tight. When you are our age, you never know. When it's time, my father wasn't feeling well the other day. I got scared. My father wasn't feeling well. So, I mean, you know, keep them tight. Keep them tight.
Hey, you see, I bring my mama with me.
My mama's on here too. I told her to go to bed. It's way past her bedtime.
My mama ain't computer savvy at all. She texting me and shit. I watch it, baby. I ain't made a damn comment because I don't even think she got a YouTube page.
So yeah, keep them tight, man. Keep your parents close. You never know. Once we get of age, my eyes are watering a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to Moores. As I said earlier, I saw them yesterday. Shout outs to them. Thanks, JB, for the example. Shout out to Williams and Hugh. Hopefully they will be new sponsors coming up. And shout out to Dan the man at Under Armour. I talked to him today. We got an order for him, so we'll talk about that offline.
Yeah, let's give a quick score prediction. I got the Bears.
Bears update.
20.
Wait a minute. I wasn't finished saying what I was saying. Chris just said, "Let's give a quick score."
Found your shot.
I just wanted to do it real quick before you get finishing your shot.
Okay,
your
so
shot can be kind of long.
I'll finish the shout out first, man.
I'm finished. Go ahead.
Are you really? I don't think you will.
Well, you're still talking. Give us your score first, then. Go.
Yeah, give us your score first, then.
Come back to me.
You all right?
Yeah, come back to me.
I'll go first. We riding high, but unfortunately, that Dallas D is something different. I got 24-17 Dallas.
24-17 Dallas. Shit. What you got, Frank?
I'm same with JB on this one. Riding high, feel good, but man, Dallas's defense is at a whole different level than New England's defense. I'm gonna go 23-17 Cowboys.
I'm going to go 23-20. I'm gonna go for the Bears for the upset. Fuck it, why not?
Nice.
Why not?
Somebody's got to finally. I think we're all even.
Why not?
JB is the only one who didn't pick the 49ers week 1, and other than that, we're all even.
No, because I picked the Giants to win. Terrence did not. You did not.
I picked the Giants to win.
Right. So I think I'm actually, and none of us picked the Patriots. I'm sorry. We all picked the Patriots.
Yes. So that's why I go the score. None of us are above 500, I feel.
Yeah, I picked the Patriots.
I think we're all even right now because actually, you know what?
No, we all picked the Patriots to win, I believe.
But we also all picked the Bears to beat the Commanders. So
and exactly. So we're all right back at the same level.
Yeah, but I don't even think we did a prediction for the Patriots game.
We didn't?
I don't think so.
I did.
I thought we did because we all was like, yeah, they're not going to. Maybe we did it early on, but I thought we all was like.
I don't know. I don't remember that shit.
I did early on. I said the Bears were going to lose. And they pleasantly surprised me. Well, kind of a surprise.
You put up that scores too. How about after party week 10? Lions.
Put up the line. Oh Lord, you said the Lions.
If we're gonna pick a division rival, it's got to be the Lions because we ain't beating the Packers or the Vikings.
Well, that's why. But that's why I said I think we're all even now because you all picked the Bears and I'm the only one that picked the Giants. So
I picked the Giants because I said Saquon Barkley was gonna kill us, so I picked the Giants.
So then we. Frank, you might be winning then because you picked the 49ers.
The lead, damn.
I think you might be winning by 1.
We should do a tally. We should do a tally.
We should. Maybe I'll start. I got a dry erase board right here. I'm gonna fucking.
All right, T. What's your prediction?
27-24.
You said what?
27-24 Bears upset.
All right.
I don't think I can't go against them no more. I don't want to go against them.
It ain't good for your health.
Yeah, I can't do that. But yeah, I don't have no more shots. So shit, I guess we done. Yeah, we done. Let me find the thing, man.
Oh, it's 11:20.
Damn, I know, right?
Yeah. We've been here for a while, boy.
Yeah, my ass.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
Shit, I'm about to go sleep on the couch.
Oh shit, I forgot to ask.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
That's Field talking to Mac Jones right now.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.
Baby, can I at least have a pillow?